All right, guys, welcome back. What a week. Wow. I did not expect the week we got, but that's the week we had. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's been so long, I forgot how to start a podcast. I'm over here going, now what do I hit next? What's going on next? How do I start the music? How do I get the microphone on? Couldn't get the sound in my ears. So, guys, welcome back. It's been a wild week. I am underslept, undernourished, malnourished. But I missed you guys. I genuinely missed you guys. It's you guys have become part of my family. I have to outline my family at some point tonight because I get a lot of emails and a lot of congratulations for things that are not so. So I will outline the nature of the family at some point in a few moments. But yeah, so Mrs. Coleman and I celebrated 25 years, or we're about to celebrate 25 years. It's going to be at the end of next month, and we thought when would be a good time to take some time away from the podcast and take time away from the family because we wanted to get away. Now, here's a dirty little secret. Young, newly married couples, don't listen to the advice. Don't listen to the story I'm about to give you and think it's advice. It's not. Mrs. Coleman and I have taken almost no vacations in our entire 25 years of marriage. We've never had an anniversary trip. Never 1st, never 5th, never 10th, never 20th. And we weren't going to let it get away from us this year. Every year we plan one or we talk about planning one, and then neither of us have any ability to plan. We're not good planners. So we just never do it. And this year we said, no, we're going to do it. We're going to absolutely make it happen. Well, our anniversary is at the end of June. And so my daughter was expecting by the end of June. I thought, well, that's going to be a really messy time of the year. We won't be able to do it. There'll be a chance we'll miss something. There'll be a chance we'll be rushing back in the middle of the trip. If you know me, I don't like being away from home. I'm a true homebody. I don't like traveling. So we picked a place that's very close to home. We limited it to 3 days, and we left Monday. And Monday we went. We had a great time Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and we came back Thursday. And I thought, okay, well, that's when I put the note up. I'll do a members show Friday. That was my plan. And so Friday I put out a note, or maybe Thursday I put out a note. Hey, I'll be doing a member show tomorrow. It'll be around 1-ish. I had a good show lined up for you. I'm still going to do it probably this week. It was a heck of a lot of fun of a show I was going to put together for the member show. And then I'll just do my regular show Sunday night. We'll get back into the swing of things. And then about 7 a.m. on Friday morning, my beautiful daughter, who was just shy of 36 weeks, texted my lovely bride and said, I think my water broke. And we thought, well, that's not possible. It's too early. But no, it in fact was possible. It was true. It happened. So we gathered our stuff, headed over to her place, checked in on her, and then thought, okay, we got to get to the hospital ASAP. So headed to the hospital. We were at Vandy for a few days. They do a great job there. If you're remotely in Middle Tennessee, and you want to deliver at a place that's just fantastic, I cannot recommend them highly enough. This is not a paid product placement. They're going to charge us out the nose. But nevertheless, if you can't tell from my sweatshirt, a beautiful, just absolutely delightful little girl was born just after midnight Saturday morning. And it was such a different experience being on the grandfather side instead of the father side. The father side, there's all these emotions that come into play of oh my gosh, it's just a different experience. I can't even describe it. But as a grandparent, I hadn't even thought about what it'd be like, and I hadn't really talked to anybody what it'd be like. I didn't ask anybody what's it like having your first grandchild. It's just different. And I actually went back up there today for a little bit to drop some stuff off before they checked out of the hospital, and oh my goodness, it was like even more, I can't even describe it, like swelled with a love. Not that I love the grandchild more than my children, certainly not, but it's just a fundamentally different thing. And it told me a lot about human nature. I'm sitting there and, this is the way my brain works. I'm not a normal person. I don't know if you guys have figured that out yet or not. I can't just soak it in and say, hey, I'm sitting here with my first grandchild. This is my beautiful granddaughter. This is going to be amazing. I can't do that. I have to start thinking about human nature and evolution or human design, however you want to look at it. I had to think about what is it about about being a grandfather. What is it about being a grandmother? The different hormonal things that kick in when you're holding a child versus a grandchild. Even hearing the little screams as a grandfather is different from a father. It was just such a wildly different experience. And it was emotional. I got very, very emotional several times. Very emotional several. We I don't want to go through the whole like experience the night of. Not anybody's business, but got very, very emotional the night of when um when it was all kind of taking place. Like my wife has given birth to 8 children naturally, no medical intervention, no epidurals, no medicine, no. I mean, just like get in there and tough it out, right? Just man up. Let's see this thing through to the end. But after you've done it a few times, you kind of you know what to expect. Even though each one's a little different, you kind of know what to expect. And I'm talking from the father, not from the mother. I mean, it's just there's the if you've never had a natural child or never been to one, let me just kind of walk you through it in 2 sentences. There's a quiet period where things are like slowly developing, and then there's this all hell breaks loose period that can last, I don't know, 5 minutes to 15 minutes to 20 minutes, however long the real shebang lasts. And as a father, you always think, oh my gosh, is she going to make it? And they always do. I mean, I'm sure there's tragedies where they don't, but the normal course is that they do in fact make it, and it's everything has its purpose. But as a grandfather, man, when you're sitting there and you're waiting and you got this like anticipation, and I'm telling you, the way my brain works is I'm sitting there thinking, what kind of world is this child inheriting? Everybody else is like, is everybody okay? And I'm like, no, what is going on in the Middle East right now? Is the American government still working towards the best interest of its people? Are we still a government of, by, and for the people, or are we moving into some sort of totalitarian dystopian nightmare? I mean, this is all going through my mind in the midst of all the chaos. But it was just incredibly emotional, incredibly emotional. My wife and I were actually there for the entire ordeal, for the entire event, and I cannot recommend enough soaking in the love of a newborn at some point in your life, if at all possible. There's a helpless trust. We see that Jesus says, "Come to me like a little child," and we often picture like an 8-year-old. But if you have an 8-year-old, that's probably not the most apt fitting age for the analogy. It's probably more like a 1-day-old. Total surrender, total no questioning, total no ability to do anything. I have no say in what's going on around me. You're either going to feed me or you're not. You're either going to hold me or you're not. You're either going to change me or you're not. I was holding the little baby this morning or last night. It was last night, I think. No, it was this morning. I'm holding the baby this morning. No, it was last night. I'm holding the baby, and I felt the big one. Boom. And I was like, oh, no, we got one of those. And I was like, hey, I'm a professional. I've done this before. You, my daughter, just sit back. Let me take care of this one. And it was, you forget. You forget. From child to child, you forget. And I think there's a blessing in that, because if you could remember, would you do it all over again? If you could remember the sleepless nights, if you could remember the constant diaper changes, if you could mention all that, would you get back in the arena and do it again? So I think there's a grace and a blessing to not remembering it, to not remembering how small they are, but there's a helplessness. Like, I'm holding this child and I'm thinking, this had to be what Jesus meant when he said, come to me like a little child, not a questioning, inquisitive toddler, not like, why? Because a 5-year-old can sin. Not like an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old where they get a little snot nose, you know how they are, talk back a little bit, whine, that's mine, that's mine. No. Not like a 9-year-old. Certainly not like a teenager. I've had plenty of that. I got my 4th one now as a teenager. And I don't think that's what Jesus had in mind. But while I'm holding my brand new granddaughter, all 6 pounds of her, right? She was a little tiny thing when she was born, under 6 pounds, like 5.5 pounds. And I'm sitting there holding her, and I'm like, this is it. Like, it clicked. I couldn't do it as a dad. I couldn't think of do it as a dad, but as a grandfather, you're sitting there and you're holding her like, this is what the big guy had in mind. This is what he was talking about. A total helplessness. So, guys, while I appreciate your patience while I was away, please know we made the best of it. We had our first anniversary trip in 25 years. We did it a month before my daughter was due so that there would be no complications. There would be no way it would possibly be interrupted. And we got home about 15 hours before her water broke and we kicked into hyperdrive. So that is why there was no show this week. I was out. That's why there was no member show Friday. I was with my family up at the hospital, just witnessing the miracle of life. I had this conversation with my son. He's 14. And we were driving around. I said, this is I don't see how atheists hold babies. Like, I don't see how you can hold a baby and remain an atheist. I don't see how you can watch the birthing process and remain an atheist. I know it happens. I mean, there's billions of them around the world, but I just don't see how it's possible. I don't see how it's possible. I don't see how you can feel your heart swell up with love and think that's just matter. That's just electrons swirling around protons and neutrons, and they happen to be in the right order. And I don't see how it happens, guys. And so if your brain works like mine, if your brain is crazy and you've had a child, you've probably experienced all this before. You've had a grandchild, you've probably experienced all this before. But man, I like today, when I was holding her today, my wife even kind of made fun of me today for the way I was talking to her, because it's unreal. It's just unreal. I don't want to sit here and berate the thing for an hour and a half. It's not the content of the show, but I am in fact a MORFAR. It is to my granddaughter. I'm a MORFAR, a real MORFAR, not like a fake MORFAR like some other people that call their farfar a MORFAR. No, not here. We are wordsmiths. If it's your mother's father, which I am, I'm a MORFAR. And my beautiful bride, she is a MORMAR. She's a MORMAR. So we sound like we're from Star Trek, MORMAR and MORFAR. But in fact, we are just Granddad and Grandma. That's what we've chosen for our children's name, Granddad and Grandma. So if you see Mrs. Coleman and you call her Grandma, no longer is that offensive. If you see me and call me Granddad, no longer is that offensive. Uncle, I'm actually an uncle, so typically not too offended by that anyway. Even though I know you Gen Zers call old people uncle, and that means old. I technically am an uncle many times over. But now I'm a granddad, and I'm okay with that. So you can call me Granddad, you can call me Grandpa, you can call me Papaw, Peepaw, whatever you want to call me, but the children ideally will call me Granddad one day. My dad was a granddad. My dad's dad was a granddad. My dad's dad was a granddad. I'll be a granddad. So, yeah, it was wild. So I wanted so badly to share it with you guys. You guys have become like an extended part of my life. And the whole time I was thinking, I need to like talk to these people. I wanted to go live from the hospital. I would never, trust me, would never. But I really wanted to. Like, it crossed my mind. Like, I need to document this. I got to get on with the audience. I just got to get out there and just talk about it. I want to show them around. Like, I want to walk around the hospital with the baby live. Like, hey, guys, I didn't do it. I respect the privacy of my daughter. I didn't even publish her face when I put the picture on X of me gazing into her eyes. And so anyway, if you, what is that? Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say if you run into my daughter, but if you run into her, don't tell her you know her. That happened at Trader Joe's one day. So don't do that. But, yeah. So I'm going to get into the show. I'm going to try to do a normal show as possible. I will admit I've slept about 6 hours in the last 2 days, maybe 7 total. 4 hours last night, maybe 3 hours the night before. So, I'm kind of running on fumes, but I am back at it, geared up, ready to go. I want to talk specifically today. I want to talk about the crime scene being covered up, because I started going through, actually saw a really good tweet. And if I looked for it today, I couldn't find it. But while I was in the hospital, I was scrolling, and I found a really good tweet, and it said something like, "Here are the parts of the case that still bother me," and it listed a bunch of really good parts. But when I got to the item that he listed about the, um, I think it was a he. I can't remember if it was a he or she, but he listed something. He said about the crime scene being covered up. And I thought, that's remarkable, and it reminded me that I saw recently a podcast in just the last few days about the crime scene being covered up. It was a smaller podcast. It did not have many views. I'm going to play a few clips of it tonight. I've got some timestamps. I got maybe 4, 5, 6 clips I want to play out of this. But it's the guy who did the renovation. It's the guy who put the pavers down. And he's taken a lot of heat. And I'll admit, even I initially was very skeptical of this story. That this guy just gets a call out of the blue and he's just this random contractor. And it's like, hey, come put down some pavers. I'm thinking, who does this on a Sunday? And then I hear from people in Utah. I got several friends that I've met through this program that live in Utah or from Utah. And they said, hey, nobody works on Sunday. Sunday is completely shut down state. It's a very religious state. And when Sunday comes, they don't do stuff. Like the place is shut down. Nobody's moving around. And how much weirder is that the state is contracting workers to be working on Sunday? And so I want to go through a few clips of that podcast because I think it's worth noting. I will give you a slight warning. There are a few clips that I'll play that I did not edit because I think the foul language sort of adds to the story. It's not flagrant. It's not hundreds of foul words. It's a couple. And but I left them in there. I'm going to play it directly from YouTube. I thought about downloading it and bleeping them out, but I chose not to do that because I want you to hear it directly from him with the emphases that he has as he tells the story. And I cannot get over several parts of the Charlie Kirk story. I just can't. There's several parts I cannot get over. I cannot force myself to get over them. And actually, during this week, I thought a lot about the case. I've tried not to. I tried to get work out of my head, but I couldn't help it. In fact, the place my wife and I went was like a quiet retreat center where you go and you're not supposed to make a bunch of noise. You're just quiet, right? There's like relaxation places. There's quiet zones. There's all these places to sit and just sit around and just be quiet. We sat out by a little fireplace and listened to birds one morning. Like it's supposed to be a quiet place. But this case, this who killed Charlie Kirk, how and why has inundated my life for the last 8 months now, 8+ months, 8.5 months. And we're coming up on 1 year. Going to be here before we know it. And as I was thinking about it, I kept coming back to the crime scene being paved up. Like I can't get over that. And when I saw the podcast, I thought, that's it. I got to talk about this. So let me go over to show a couple pictures first, just to sort of get an idea. This is from Muppet Masher. I don't know if you guys follow him on X or not, but I want to show you first a couple of pics he has that have not been seen or at least were not known by most people. He published, I think he got permission from somebody to publish them. He actually bleeped out a few faces here. So this is actually a picture of the crime scene while the crew was working on it. This is a picture of it. So obviously we know the tent was here in the middle, or actually just a little offset from this area right here. But the tent was over on this side a little bit, but this is it. This is the scene of the crime. And there's a picture in here that is remarkable. Look at this picture and you can see how much dirt they excavated. That has to be like a foot of dirt that they've excavated out of here. Now, when we do the podcast in a minute, you'll see the guy who actually did the work, I think gives a smaller number than that. I think he says it's 8 or 10 inches, but that looks like more than 8 or 10 inches to me. That is a tremendous amount of digging down. Look at that right there. See that? There's like a red line here running across, like a chalk line or something. It looks like like an archaeological dig. That there's several inches above this red line and several inches below. There's a tremendous amount of dirt that was removed. And no one's ever given an explanation for why this place, and I went back and looked at historical aerial photography of this place, and it has for many, many years been all dirt. This entire area has been all grass. This entire menorah area right here has all been grass for many, many years. And there's never been a good explanation for why they chose this emergency to go through and add the pavers. And so as I was looking at it, And thinking about it, I ran across another tweet. It's an excellent tweet, and I want to share some of the details of it. This is Sam Parker talking about the rapid destruction and cleanup of crime scenes being a telltale sign of a cover-up. And then he talks about JFK. These are facts I didn't know. You know, after the JFK assassination, where the president of the United States was slain in Dealey Plaza in Dallas, the road was kept open to traffic after the shooting. And that the very next day, the crowds were allowed back onto the grass and the road. They didn't keep it shut down even for 24 hours. That the Secret Service wiped down and cleaned the limo 30 minutes after the assassination while it was at the hospital. And then the limo was shipped off to D.C. within 3 hours without a forensic examination. What's this sound like? This sounds like this sounds like the Charlie Kirk SUV. It was cleaned up nearly immediately, and then it was shipped off. It was sold, and we have no idea where it is. And all that survives is 6 total pictures that were given to Candace Owens. That's all that survives of it that we're aware of. Now, the police may have taken photos, but that we've certainly not seen any of those, or we've not seen those listed anywhere. And then the limo was completely repaired within 3 weeks. So that's the JFK thing. Now, what about RFK? My wife and I, actually, let me pull this down a second. We watched an excellent RFK documentary on Netflix while we were on our honeymoon. Not honeymoon, whatever that was. Vacation. Anniversary trip. We watched an excellent 4-part Netflix documentary on RFK. It was phenomenal. This is what we do for fun. This is what, when you've been married 25 years, this is how you spend your anniversary trip. You watch RFK documentaries. But we pulled it up. It looked interesting. We watched the first episode, thought, man, this is compelling. And then we watched the next 3 after that. It was great. Well, it took us 2 or 3 days to get through it, but it was fantastic. It really drilled down. It actually maybe was a little too focused on his civil rights work, but it was excellent. It left out a lot of the RFK story, but I think it was meant to tell that part of the story. But I bring that up to say that Sam Parker here talks about throngs of people were allowed to continue moving through the pantry of the Ambassador Hotel after RFK was shot in a flurry of bullets. Now, do you know who ended up owning? I learned this in the documentary. Do you know who ended up owning the Ambassador Hotel where RFK was shot? It's now like a high school. They've turned the facility into, I think, like a shared space with 4 or 5 high schools. It was owned by Donald Trump, of all people. It was owned by Donald Trump up until the city forced him, I think, according to the documentary, that forced him to sell it to the high school system, and they used it and they remodeled it and used it as a high school. The wall paneling, the ceiling tiles, and the door jambs were removed and collected into evidence for the bullet holes that they contained, but then they were lost. Subsequently permanently lost. And the documentary actually covered that as well, that they pulled the door jamb. They had a photo where you could see the bullet hole in the door jamb, and then they lost it when they went back to examine it. And keep in mind that scene, like Charlie Kirk, was very much disputed in the fact that it seemed like there were more bullets fired than Sirhan's gun held. I actually did an opening statement on this not terribly long ago. I think there were 13 or 14 documented gunshots and only 8 shots in Sirhan's bullet. So there were at least 4 or 5 other shots. And then the medical examiner said the fatal shot came behind his right ear within an inch or two. And all the eyewitnesses said Sirhan was in front of him like 3 feet away. So obviously those weren't the gunshots that killed RFK, the ones that came from Sirhan. And so the crime scene would have been very telling about who was where. That doesn't matter. They destroyed it. They took it down, much like they did the Charlie Kirk crime scene. What about MLK? The Martin Luther King crime scene. There was a large tree limb in front of a boarding house where James Earl Ray allegedly shot Martin Luther King, but it was identified as obstructing the line of sight from the bathroom window to the Lorraine Motel. And then it was cut down the same day he reported it. So someone calls in and says, hey, I'm not sure he could have taken this shot. There's a giant tree limb in the way, and he didn't have a clean line of sight. That's okay. They go through and cut the limb down, damaging the crime scene. There were bushes and shrubbery behind the famed Jim's Grill, not in its current location. And eyewitnesses placed a possible shooter there. They heard shots coming from there. Well, that's okay because they completely tore that up and razed it to the ground the next morning. Again, destroying the crime scene within hours or days of a contested assassination. What about the attempt on Trump at Butler? The scene where Matthew Crooks was shot was hosed down by the FBI, and then the crime scene was released within 3 days. Now you go to Charlie Kirk, and then it really gets weird. You remember them standing on the chairs, the blood-stained, blood-soaked chairs to retrieve camera footage, the SD cards that were removed, and then you had spectators and other people allowed to walk all over the crime scene. In fact, one of our very own viewers sent me footage she recorded. This is Shelba Leba Dabba Ding Dong, whatever her name is, Helga Lega Dabba Ding Dong. I can never get it right. She actually took video footage, and you can see in her footage other people walking, traipsing through the crime scene. I don't know if I've ever played that or not. I have it. And then you have the grass and dirt ripped up. We'll start about that. We'll talk about that tonight. And then the scene was paved over on the fourth day. We'll talk about that tonight. The tiles were replaced in the tunnel under the Hall of Flags. The tent, the chairs, the tables, not preserved. No one knows where those things are. The necklace he was wearing was not kept, collected into evidence. And the SUV he was taken to the hospital in was cleaned, repaired, and sold. And so this is not unusual. It's not unusual in a very high-profile political assassination to destroy the crime scene. In fact, it almost makes perfect sense to destroy the crime scene, if you think about it. Well, if it's not what we think it is, if it's not a lone gunman from the Lowe Center who planned and executed Charlie Kirk on his own from 142 yards away with Granddaddy's 30-06, if that's not what it was, it makes perfect sense to destroy the crime scene. We'll talk more about that tonight as we roll through some of the other picks. Here's some more picks that took place during the construction. This is from Getty Images. I will pull these up and give you an idea of just how destroyed this crime scene truly was. This is a picture here. You can see the alleged trap door. I just want to be on the record. I don't believe anything happened under the trap door, but I bring it up because everybody talks about it. It's still there. I think it's just a utility entrance. You can see all these other utility entrances here, 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 and here, as well as some gas vent or something right there. You get a view from the side here of just how deep they were pulling in. Here's kind of a farther back view where you can see where they have some fencing that they've borrowed from, I think the State Fair is where they got that while they did the work. So it's not like they were doing it in the still of the night, but I mean, there were people there watching them do it. But I want to go through a little bit of this podcast. Let me show you who did this podcast first. A guy named Jimmy Rex. The Jimmy Rex podcast. If you look it up, you'll find him there. I'll turn the CCs on because I'm not sure exactly how hard this is going to be to hear. This guy here that you see, this is not Jimmy Rex. This is the guy who did the construction project. He's the one that owns Hardscape, Utah. His name's Dan Merrill. He has taken a lot of abuse from people who thought he was in on it, who was part of the cover-up. His business was targeted. He himself received a lot of hate mail. As someone who receives a lot of disturbing text messages and emails, I will say this. I think it's wholly inappropriate to contact any of the people involved in this, whether they are contractors, security personnel, employees at TPUSA. I think if you're contacting these people, and you're not doing it for news gathering purposes. In other words, you don't have a podcast, you don't have a newspaper, you don't have a TV show, you're not trying to get an interview, you're not trying to send them questions and say, hey, here's what I plan to report. Would you like to weigh in before I go? I plan to report this on Friday afternoon. If you don't go, if you're not doing that, but you're contacting people just to harass, stop, right? Don't do that. I've gotten some really disturbing comments from people. Very, very disturbing comments from people. In fact, about 20 minutes of every day is me spent blocking senders to my personal emails. Don't send stuff to my personal emails. Don't send stuff to these people's personal email. This guy was a contractor. If you think he has some information to share, do what this Jimmy Rex did. Contact him and say, hey, I've got a podcast. You want to come on and answer some questions? Here are the types of things I'd like to ask you about. But leaving Google reviews when you haven't used their services, I think is kind of low budget. Contacting the general contractor licensing board and filing complaints when you've never had anything to do with this guy. I mean, it's just low budget. It's not who we are, right? It's not what our side should be doing. So keep that in mind as we cover this story. Don't contact these people unless you're doing it for legitimate news purposes. Like if you have a podcast, you have a newspaper, if you have a magazine, if you have a television show and you want to contact somebody, fine. But if you're just trying to harass somebody, don't do that. Don't do that. Not necessary. But I want to play this because he opens up by talking about how he learned about what happened. And I found this incredibly intriguing. I wasn't going to play this part, but I kept listening to it over and over, and I was incredibly intrigued by this. He was on the scene pretty much when it happened. I mean, I'll let him take it away, and then I'll give you my color commentary behind it. But it was really, really fascinating. It was an interesting part of the story that I thought added a personal element that I wasn't expecting.
Interestingly enough, I came and met with you about your Zen garden. That was right when it happened. I was on my way back to my shop in Provo, and I saw 6 different precincts flying past me in the commuter lane. And I got to, my shop is right. It's probably 2 miles away from UVU. I grew up right there. We walked to where I went to grade school, it's Vineyard, which is now UVU. And I saw all the cops coming past, and I got off on University Parkway, and everything was shut down. And I thought, what the hell, right? Got on the phone, asked Google, and Charlie Kirk, had been shot. I think
that's a really interesting personal touch. We lose sight of the fact sometimes when we're covering this that these are real people. And I thought this added a really interesting personal touch to it, because this is a guy who was going to now what we'll find out later in the interview. I may not play this part, but what I found out later in the interview, and if you listen to the whole thing, and it's an interesting interview, you wouldn't waste your time listening. What I found out was they know each other. They're friends. They've known each other a long time. They grew up together. They grew up in the area. They both grew up within a couple of miles of the campus. This is their community. This is their home. There was an international news story that we've dedicated a lot of time to covering. I've looked at maps of Orem, Utah, every which way you can, panoramic views from all 4 cardinal directions. I've looked at vertical views straight up and down, Google Maps, specialized mapping services like NearMap that I subscribe to, all kinds of different things. I feel like I've been there. I've never been there. I want to go, but I've never been there. I've never been on the ground in Orem, Utah, but I've looked at the 3D dimensional model that Gary Melton, probably the only valuable thing he's done since this case started on September 10th. This little 3D map he put together, this 3D model, you have to download it. It's kind of complex, but once you get it together and once you get using it, it's actually pretty nice. But it's really easy in cases like this to forget these are actual human beings. It's one of the things I liked about the RFK document. It followed these people, and you forget, even though this was, what was that, almost 60 years ago, 58 years ago, RFK was taken down. You forget these are actual human beings. A lot of these people are still alive. A lot of these people are still, they've gone on. They've had other careers. They've had a whole life since then. They've had kids and grandkids, and the story is frozen in time. Like the Charlie Kirk story to me is frozen in September 10th. You forget that all these people that live around there, they go to work the next day. They drive around town. This guy got caught in the traffic of what was happening on that day. And I wanted to include that because it adds a personal element to it. Now, I'm going to get into him describing how he was first contacted and how the contact came in on a Sunday. I thought this was an interesting element to this story.
Fast forward, I'm at home with my family, and I get a call, and I don't answer my phones on Sunday. They left a message, and the gentleman said, "Hey, this is kind of weird," and he was kind of hemming and hawing on the phone.
This was 5 days later then? You said it was on the Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
So they've got their timeline wrong, by the way. They keep assuming the Charlie Kirk event was on Tuesday. It was not. It was on Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's actually only 4 days later. They keep saying it's 5 days later. So just accept that they're wrong about that, and that's okay. These are just, again, these are humans. They're trying to get it right. I don't think they're trying to get it wrong. But the call came in on Sunday. It actually was only 4 days later. I think that's interesting. I mean, it's a valuable data point because it shrinks the timeline by 25%, 20%.
Yeah, on Sunday. And he says, "We've got a paver emergency."
I don't think those words have ever been spoken before in the human language, ladies and gentlemen. We have a paver emergency. I think that I honestly believe, as I sit here today, what day is it? May 24th, 2026, in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini. I truly believe that's the first time in the history of the English language those words have ever been put in that order. We have a paver emergency. There's never been a paver emergency in the history of mankind. This is a first. This is a first.
Like, the hell?
When the hell's a paver emergency?
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
right.
I'm thinking, this guy's, what the hell? So anyways, I wasn't going to even respond because I don't typically do that. But I'm like, paver emergency. Part of my MO is I like to be useful, where I can be help, So I texted the guy. I said, "Look, I don't work on Sundays. My guy."
And again, that's what I keep hearing about Utah. On Sunday, they shut down. Like, I tend to shut down on Saturday. I don't do much work on Saturday. I just kind of dial it back. Now, it's not Shabbat Shalom. I didn't write a book about it like Charlie Kirk did. I don't throw my phone in the drawer. You can still reach me on Saturday. I'll still tweet. I'll still be heard from. But I don't do a show on Saturday. I've never made it a habit in my career before this of working very much on Saturday. It's happened, but it's not common. Saturday's sort of the dial it back day, sort of the family day. May go to the ballpark with the kids, make whatever. But everybody needs a day off. And this guy's day is Sunday. And apparently the whole state of Utah is Sunday. So it didn't surprise me when he said that.
Guys don't work on Sundays. I'm happy to call you on Monday. What's a paver emergency? So he sends me pictures of right where Charlie was murdered. And he says, "We need to put pavers in this place." So I called him, and the guy seemed like a genuine good dude. He says, "Look, we don't have a whole lot of answers. We're told by, people above us that we've got to put pavers in, today and tomorrow. It needs to be in by Monday. And we've never done pavers. We've never installed them. And we want to make sure we do it right." And he says, "Would you come help?" I said, 100%. So I went and got my shit. I got my trailer. I started calling my guys, and none of my guys answered. And so I started.
Because it's Sunday and they don't work on Sunday. Again, I'm pointing out how unusual it is for Sunday. If your boss calls and you don't answer, that means you don't work on that day. That just means you don't work on that day. Now, so we have a paver emergency. But what this told me about the story was they actually started the project in such a hurry that they didn't even know who was going to do the paving. That tells me it wasn't about the pavers. Because they got the ground excavated. They pulled 10 inches of dirt, according to him. They pulled 10 inches of dirt out of this place. They get all the sod rolled up. They get it all out of the way. And they don't even know who's going to do the paving. They don't know who's going to put the pavers down. So what was the purpose of the project? Was it pavers or was it dirt removal? Because if you listen to the official story, it's, well, we just wanted to create a memorial place. We wanted to get rid of we didn't want people coming up. There's biohazard material. Who knows when it's going to rain? Leave it to the Lord to clean it all off. Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't about the pavers. It was about the dirt removal. I would suggest it's about removing evidence from the scene of the crime. It's about destroying the crime scene. That's what it was about. It wasn't a beautification project. But you can't go to the public and have school open back up on Monday and just have 10 inches of dirt excavated from where the tent was. People are going to look at that and say, what are you guys hiding? What's really going on here? Are you telling me you guys excavated the crime scene and you're just going to leave a dirt hole for who knows how long? No. You can't go to people and say that. That's the definition of a paver emergency. That's why it's a paver emergency. We want to make it look like we did this intentionally to beautify the area. The reality is we would rather get caught removing evidence from the crime scene. We would rather get caught excavating the dirt, pulling the sod, getting everything cleaned up and out of the way. That we if push comes to shove, we'll take it up with them later. We'll explain that if we have to. We would like to have pavers down. We would like this to, we now have a paver emergency on our hands. We didn't know we were going to have a paver emergency, but now we have a paver emergency. But the fact that the paver emergency existed in the first place is excellent evidence to me. If I'm the defense team, guys, if you're listening, if I'm the defense team, I'm arguing this podcast. I'm using this testimony. I'm bringing him into court to testify exactly to what he just said. And if he tries to change his story, I'm using this podcast as impeachment evidence. Because it wasn't about the pavers. The pavers were an emergency. The emergency was created because now we have a hole in the ground. The hole in the ground is the problem. You took a crime scene and made it a hole in the ground before you even knew how you were going to pave over it. We like to say, well, they paved over the crime scene. No, that wasn't the scandal. The scandal is they dug up and removed the crime scene. That's the scandal. This guy helped me articulate the problem. Let me get back to him here. He wasn't done with his story.
Started calling my other guys, my brothers. And then I called another, so I put together this ragtag team, of guys that we showed up on that Sunday, within an hour and a half of when they called us with our trailer. And we met with a couple of dudes. I was telling you there wasn't a whole lot of information. There was two guys that were kind of in charge.
So by this point, it's all dug up and everything.
Everything.
What did it look like?
I've got pictures, I could give you pictures of exactly when I showed up. I took pictures of what it looked like. They had taken out about 10 inches of the dirt around the whole place, right? Right now you can see where the pavers are.
10 inches of dirt around the whole place. It wasn't about the pavers. It absolutely 100% was not about the pavers. And that's why they had a paver emergency. Now, you might ask yourself, who, ladies and gentlemen, would have the authority when a national political figure is assassinated on one of the most high-profile political assassinations in more than 50 years? Who would have the authority to order such an operation to excavate 10 inches of dirt in every direction around the crime scene? You might be asking yourself that because I asked myself that same question. I'd heard rumors of who it might be, but I had no actual answer. Well, my man here is about to give us the answer. Dan Merrill's going to tell us exactly who ordered the destruction of the crime scene. And it's a little shocking, frankly. Before I play it, let me just go through the options. One option would be like the UVU president. The UVU president might have a good reason to excavate it and say, hey, guys, I don't need this on my campus. Classes are going to come back in on Monday. People are going to be walking all through this area. They're going to be retrieving their belongings. They're going to come. I mean, it's just natural when something like that happens. You want to come look. I don't need the grass there. I don't need people walking all over it. We can put the fencing around it, but someone might climb over it. And so the University of President, that's a good option. Maybe the Division of Facilities and Construction Management for the state of Utah. I mean, actually, I really like this about Utah. They have a state department that handles all the college campuses and all the state property. I like that. Because you have somebody with ultimate responsibility to beautify and maintain all the state-owned buildings in the system, in the state system. I like that. So you might think that person would have the authority. Well, that's an option. So university president, division of facilities construction management, maybe someone with the state outside of the construction system, someone potentially like the governor, maybe. But let's hear what he has to say, because this was an interesting touch straight from the mouth of a guy who worked on the project.
That was all it was. Is I'm going to go help these guys. He's asking for help. They want to do it right. He framed it in the sense that, hey, we want this to be done right. So that's why I showed up. So, I mean, to do pavers correctly, you over excavate, you get rid of the top. So
you do.
You do 100%. Okay. You want to get a good base. And these guys had kind of, there was two guys in charge and a ragtag crew. One of the guys was in charge of a state-owned facility in American Fork. And the other guy was in a maintenance groundskeeper on a facility in Provo. And these are the two guys I'm corresponding with. The first guy, the second guy that I hadn't talked to on the phone basically said, hey, look, we're not talking to anybody. We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday.
Why does the FBI care what happens to the university campus? Seems a little out of the chain of command, if you're asking me. The FBI is a law enforcement agency based out of Washington, D.C. that handles federal crimes and federal investigations. That's the role of the FBI. So if you have a murder in your hometown, I don't know where you live, but assuming you're one of our 75 to 80% of people here in our audience that are inside these United States, I live in a town outside of Nashville. If there's a murder in my local town, the police chief will handle it. They have jurisdiction, the local police in the city. The mayor directs the police. So the mayor would be involved. The county, I suppose, has sort of overlapping jurisdiction within the county because the county is the sub-agency of the state. Cities are just municipal corporations. They're formed by citizens who get together and say, we'd like to pool our resources to provide some water, sewage, gas, whatever, roads, parks. So maybe the county would have some jurisdiction over a murder in my hometown. The attorney general of the state, perhaps, could take over the investigation. I think in most states, the attorney general has that ability to come in and take over an investigation. And that makes sense because some towns are small. You get a city of 500 or 1,000 people. The local police chief may not want to investigate the guy. If he's pretty powerful or pretty popular in town, he'll ruin your life if you investigate him. So the attorney general might be able to come in. But one person who has no jurisdiction over that crime in all likelihood is the FBI. A routine murder that doesn't cross state lines, that just one person who's a resident of Tennessee kills somebody who's in my city, the FBI really doesn't have any jurisdiction over that. And even if they did have jurisdiction over that, the likelihood that it would make any sense to anyone observing the goings on, that the FBI would then come in and say, oh, and by the way, tear down the crime scene. Excuse me? Sorry, tear it down. But this is someone's property. This is a property here. We don't want to tear down the guy's house. He's murdered in his house. No. Tear it down. Tear it down to the studs. Take it down to the ground. Put it on the foundation. Take it down to the slab. That's a really weird request that the FBI would be going to the owner of a crime scene, the state of Utah, and saying, I want this crime scene destroyed by Monday. This crime was committed on Wednesday. You have 4 or 5 days to get this bad boy completely destroyed. It's enough to make you wonder, did they have an interest in that? Beyond just, is this something that the FBI normally does? Go around beautifying campuses, recommending campus beautification and demanding that campus beautification be done on a constricted timeline? Probably not. That's probably not something that's normal? Again, if I'm Tyler Robinson's defense team, I'm probably going to try to get the judge to allow me to raise this issue. Why was the FBI concerned with destroying the crime scene and so quickly? Keep in mind, in the first few days, there weren't a lot of questions about who did this, how, and why. I mean, it took me a little while to start thinking, this doesn't make any sense. In fact, when I started down the Google Trends road, which is kind of how people started watching this program, when I started wandering down the Google Trends road, even though I was finding all these Washington, D.C. hits and hits from overseas on these individual bit players, I still was thinking they must have coordinated with Tyler Robinson. Worst case scenario is they coordinated with Tyler Robinson to pull this off. It wasn't for weeks that it dawned on me that this may not be Tyler Robinson at all. He may be a role player in this thing. Sure. I mean, maybe he was there and maybe he, was part of some larger scheme, but I don't think he actually pulled a trigger, and maybe a trigger wasn't pulled at all. That took me weeks and weeks to get to. I don't know anyone, frankly, who was raising that issue within 5 days. If they were, I don't recall. I think one of the first few people that raised the issue that I saw was Chris Martinson, where Chris Martinson was saying, hey, wait a minute, that angle doesn't work from the Lowe Center. That angle doesn't work at all from the Lowe Center. In fact, that you're way off kilter from there. It would not come through at a 9-degree angle and hit his neck. In fact, I think I had estimated it like 12 degrees when I did it, and it still didn't hit his neck. And then I looked at Chris' math, and I like his math better. He seemed to be smarter than I was on that issue. But that the FBI being so concerned, the FBI and Governor Cox being concerned, when I was watching this, I thought, oh, we have a real problem on our hands here. Now, he's going to go through here for the next 30 seconds or so, the method of how quickly they had to work in order to get this done.
And we need to get it done. We're not asking questions. We're not talking to the media. And so I said, okay. So I just, that's kind of my MO is, I've been in so many car wrecks and, I got rolled over when I was 17 and there was 3 girls in the car. I broke my back in 3 places, got a traumatic brain injury, but nobody has, I didn't have my seatbelt on. I wrecked. We rolled down the freeway. We landed on the wheels and I got out and say, all the girls were screaming. I said, who's hurt? How do I got all the girls on the stretchers. And then, so it's kind of my MO is under pressure, I know how to just show up and help as best I can. So that's,
so you guys got it done that day, the next day. And then
so we worked until night. And basically until dark. And then we came back the next morning and started.
Hold on. Was there a cut there that I didn't see before? I'm not watching this just to rewatch it, but did I catch a cut that I didn't see before? Hang on. Let me watch that again.
How do I got all the girls on the stretchers. And then, so it's kind of my MO is under pressure, I know how to just show up and help as best I can. So that's,
so you guys got it done that day, the next day. And then
so we worked until night. And basically until
there was a cut there. I wonder what they cut out. That's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. I wonder if they cut it because he was rambling, because he was kind of rambling before that. Or if they cut something and he didn't say it right and he wanted to re-say it. It's interesting. I'm not a fan of cutting interviews, by the way. I know people do it. I like live interviews where people just talk rather than cut it up and edit it, because then you know that what they said is what they said, and they might have rehearsed it and they might have fed you lines, but that's interesting. Okay, so that was the urgency with which they worked. They worked all the way until night, Sunday night. He gets the call Sunday. He puts together a team, even though his normal team's not answering the phone. They work until night. They show up to the scene. The guy's like, hey, we're not talking to the media, which is a little weird in and of itself. They work until dark. They go sleep on it. They wake up the next morning and they work until the job is done. Now, this guy asked a question, the interviewer here asked a question that I think is frankly a pretty good question, because it's a question I had. Is this normal to excavate this much dirt?
Do you think it was weird that they immediately decided to excavate and pull up a murder scene of like such an important murder that's completely doesn't make any sense with the official narrative. Don't you think that's super weird that they would immediately try to excavate all that and pull it up instead of making it a crime scene?
So here's what a lot of people don't realize is very public crime scenes don't last as a crime scene very long. They just don't. Typically speaking, they come in, they take all their evidence, they wash it down with a fire truck so that people aren't coming and looking at all the blood and the gore. That's fairly typical. I don't know. That's what I know. So this point that happened Tuesday. We're Sunday, so Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, till Sunday's a longer time. I thought but they started pulling it up. I think
yes,
like the next day or 2 days
I don't
later.
know
You
what
weren't
that,
part of that.
Yeah, I wasn't part of that.
So a couple things here. One is the question was, is it normal to excavate a crime scene the next day or very quickly after? And his answer was, which I thought was the only real weird part of the interview for me from him, was he was like, oh, yeah, that's perfectly normal. You know, they typically hose down a crime scene. They didn't hose down the crime scene. That's not what we're talking about. Like, had they come in and hosed the blood down, I get that. It's a public facility. It's a college campus. You're going to have people walking around. Maybe you don't want them traipsing through a biohazard, for example. Not that Charlie had any kind of weird diseases, but you never know. You know, you don't want blood out there. Maybe he's got hepatitis or something. You don't want someone contracting some weird disease. That was weird to me, though, that the interviewer asked a really solid question. Hey, man, don't you think it's a little unusual that they were excavating a crime scene? Not washing it down, excavating it, removing the crime scene, relocating the crime scene, digging up and removing the crime scene. Don't you think that's weird? I mean, I totally agree that if somebody dies on the side of the road and they get run over and they, fluids and blood, you're going to probably hose it down after you take your pictures and measure and all that kind of stuff. But it's that's not excavating. Let me answer the question for you. You asked me that question, sir. Is it weird they excavated? Yes, it's weird they excavated. Are you out of your mind? It's totally weird. It's totally weird. And it looks like a cover up. That's the right answer, sir. That's the only answer here. It's absolutely weird.
Actually, probably that makes more sense because, like, I thought you were part of like the pulling it up and everything else as well.
So after we put the pavers in, we were working as a team, but I was going past some of the grounds guys, and I said, I just hollered at him, said hi, and he wanted to tell me about, he was the one who pulled it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did he have to say? Do you remember his name?
I don't. No, I don't think I got his name, but he was part of the grounds crew for UVU, and he was pretty ticked. He was like, dude, I don't know why the hell they're bringing you guys in here or why they're bringing the state in here. They made us tear everything out, the blood and the nastiness. He was responsible for the cleanup, and he was a little bitter. He's like, I don't know why they're bringing other state guys, other state employees to finish out this crime scene.
So he's not the only one that thought it was. I'm not the only one that thought it was weird. The other guy thought it was weird. The guy who actually was contracted to do it. Now, I want to fast forward a little bit. I will give you a language warning here. There's some foul language in 2 or 3 words of foul language in this. It's about a 36-second clip, so it's not long. But what I like about this is it gives us insight into his mindset. There are a whole lot of people who look at this guy and think he had to be in on it. He's lying. He's not telling the truth. He's a dishonest actor. He's part of the cover-up. And I understand that instinct. But I want you to hear the next 36 seconds. And I left the cuss words in there because I think I could have downloaded it out and bleeped them out. I think it adds to the story because it lets you in on his mindset about what he thinks of the Charlie Kirk case. So I want you to hear his thoughts on this.
I didn't want to be there, but I was trying to be useful. As you look up and you see where they're saying this shot's coming from, it's in plain fucking view. You can see but dude, I've hunted. A 30-06 from that close a range does not do what that bullet did, right? You look at the videos, you see his shirt do some crazy shit. You see his team catch him before he hits the fucking ground. but yet they can't see a guy right in front of them setting up. Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
I think that exonerates him. Think of all the Fed sloppers we've encountered during this process. Every one of them we've encountered during this process has maintained. Oh, yeah, no, that's a 30-06. You know, Martin Luther King got shot with a 30-06. Well, maybe. And the bullet didn't escape from him. Well, yeah, it did. It actually did it. It went in the side of his face. It escaped him. It went into his neck. It escaped him. It went back into his body. And it then came to a rest against his scapula. It hit like 3 really hard bones and a bunch of internal organs. It didn't hit 2 or 3 inches of soft tissue and stop. That's not what happened with Martin Luther King. Totally different scenario. Apples and oranges. And I will submit to you this. Anyone who uses the Martin Luther King example is lying to your face. They cannot be trusted. They have an ulterior motive, and they're eating Fed slop. They're eating it like Alpo. They love the Fed slop. They can't get enough Fed slop. It tastes Alpo, good for dogs, bad for humans. Same with Fed slop. It's terrible for humans. Bad for your health. It doesn't taste good. You should spit it out when you encounter it. Yet there are people, many people, podcasters, TPUSA employees, mainstream establishment uniparty right-wingers, who all basically will tell you 100%, oh, yeah, well, Tyler Robinson did this with his granddad's 30-06. He actually built the 30-06 on the roof, you know. He put it together, but it was still zero, just fine. He took one shot, hit him clean, killed him, ran off, ditched the gun, came back for it, and they caught him. And I'm telling you, this guy doesn't believe the story. This guy doesn't believe the story. He does not. He just said, I don't believe he was shot with a 30-06 from the Lowe season. I don't think he was shot with a 30-06 from the Lowe season. And so is he part of the cover-up? I don't think so. I'm going to exonerate the guy. I don't think he was. I tend now to believe his story. I was skeptical until he said that part. I was skeptical. I went into this interview very skeptical of this guy's involvement. Was he actually part of it? I wanted to give my own independent analysis. I admit I was biased when I came into it. But when he said that at the 11-minute and 34-second mark, that he doesn't believe that's what happened, that's his shirt made all kinds of weird movements and that wouldn't happen if you got shot in the neck, and the 30-06 would do tremendous damage to somebody who gets shot in the neck. I tend now to believe that he was just contacted to put down some pavers. You're free to disagree. I'm not telling you what to believe. I never tell you guys what. I wouldn't do that. In fact, if you were a Fed slopper, I think you're foolish, but I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't believe it. I'm going to tell you I don't believe it, and I think it's ridiculous. I think the story doesn't add up, and I think anybody who says it is not using the full quantity of IQ that was imparted to them at birth and developed over the course of many years of living. But you're free to believe it. Free to believe it. Now, he goes back to the FBI, and why would the FBI use a small town, small contractor on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Monday morning to finish an important job like this?
We were showing up to be helpful, and that's really all there was. If somebody was covering this up, it was the FBI, it was the state, it was not some maintenance guys and a landscaper.
Well, I mean, what the FBI would do is they would call a random landscaper,
right? Which made no sense.
Like, why do you think they called you? Like, you're kind of a smaller operation.
Right.
Like, it didn't. That was the part where I was like, oh, they kind of used him, like, because it made no sense.
No.
You're not a big operation.
No.
You wouldn't be the first call.
No.
You're also like a very humble, quiet guy. You know, it's like I just felt like maybe that's why they picked you.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of what kind of blinded me a little bit. Is I got a call and they said, and it was like, the hell would they call me?
Yeah,
I'm like definitely not the most qualified.
Right.
I mean, I do hardscapes, and we were close. That might have been it. I don't know.
How close were you to UVU? Where's
My
your
shop is probably less than 2 miles away.
Okay,
so it's right there.
So that could have been just Google the closest one to
Could have
UVU
been
kind of thing.
Yeah, and I answered.
Sure.
I answered the call. So
do you regret doing it?
No.
Okay.
No.
And I gotta tell you, that makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that the FBI would want to excavate a crime scene. I'm not exonerating the FBI. It doesn't make sense to me that someone would want to pave over the crime scene, put pavers down. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that you would start the excavation process without having a contracted paver on standby, ready to finish it out. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that you would call some random guy on a Sunday morning and say, hey, this is a paver emergency. That part doesn't make sense to me. But it makes sense to me that the FBI would call some random local guy because they couldn't possibly get away with it if they had somebody already lined up, or if there was some mega national company who showed up on the scene to do this right away. That would look really, really sketchy. Really, really sketchy. Now, one more clip here, and I'm only playing this out of love for our principal, because my guy loves all over our principal here, and I gotta play it. I'm not going to get through without playing this 37 seconds of him just sharing the love.
Sense this isn't adding up. And so you're kind of grasping for straws a little bit. Like people that criticize Candace Owens, I think it's funny because I'm like, I love Candace Owens. She's wrong about stuff, but she admits it. But she's not trying to get everything right. She's doing what an actual investigative journalist should do. Yeah. You're just throwing questions out. You're asking questions. You're talking to people. You're taking every single piece of, possible clue or evidence or whatever you can, and you're trying to figure out what happened. Yeah. Like if I die tomorrow, I want somebody to go to bat for me, like Candace Owens. Like I don't care if she's wrong 20% of the time. She is trying to get it right, and she's asking enough questions.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because that's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. What are we trying to figure out? Who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why? I think we're getting very close to the why. I think we may have already nailed the why, frankly. The who kind of flows from the why. We don't know actually the name of the person who yet. I don't think. But the who kind of flows from the why. The how, that's a little more difficult question. Particularly if you think there's government involvement or foreign government involvement, because they have really fancy tools. They don't always tell us about it. I mean, for crying out loud, they're releasing UFO files showing us things flying around in ways that we didn't know were possible. I don't believe those are extraterrestrial. I think it's probably mostly government stuff, and they're releasing it to show other countries, hey, look at the cool stuff we can do. But I like that he recognizes how messy and sloppy sometimes investigations are. Now, we try to get it right every time. When I do a show, I think I'm right that day. But if it comes out later and I look and I say, well, I got that one wrong, you'll hear it first from me. I don't wait to be called on it. I will go to bat for myself and my team. I forgot to say this earlier. Let me go back to the beginning real quickly, and then I'll move on to the next thing I was going to cover. Let me give you the order of who's who in this program, because I got a lot of congratulations to Daisy for having my grandchild. We're not related. I've never met her. I've only talked to her. That is not my child. It is not my wife. My sister is Nurse Casey. That's not my child. It's not her baby either. Nor is Nurse Casey my wife. No. Mrs. Coleman is Mrs. Coleman. Nurse Casey is my sister. And Daisy is a wonderful part of our team. But there's no relation there. There's no relation there. So when I get the congratulations, I bet Daisy's just glowing. Hey. I'm sure she is, but it's not because she gave birth to my grandchild. She may be glowing. I don't know. But she did not give birth to my grandchild. So let me just clear that up. I meant to clear that up before I got going tonight, but I forgot. Now, let me go through some of the records we have. I have to mute some of the music here, because I have no idea why people insist on breaking news this way. If you put out documents, just put out the document. But if you're going to break it this way, then don't put a bed of music behind it. Then it basically becomes useless for broadcasting purposes. But what I'm going to show you is a series of text messages that Project Constitution got a hold of. Project Constitution on X, he got a hold of these text messages that relate to this very construction project. Now, Project Constitution, these texts that I'm going to show you are not texts between the hardscape guy you just saw and UVU. That's not who they are. The texts are between, I believe, the company that was contracted to do the excavation and the people at UVU. So as I show you these, keep that in mind and notice the dates, notice the times on these. So this is September 13th. This is September 13th. We'd like to start, the blue is from UVU, I believe. We'd like to start with a 20 by 60 paver pad in our courtyard. Are you coming down tomorrow? I'm en route now. My guys are getting stuff together for the paver pad. Again, the paver pad. And the reason I don't think these are texts with the actual paver we just heard from is these came on Saturday, September 13th. You can see that right there at the top of the screen. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but I'm circling it with my mouse at 6:28 p.m. So they're putting the pad together. Wow, I'm in a meeting. Do you want one of my staff to meet you? Yes. Not sure where yet, though. Let's say 8 o'clock at the site on the plaza. Okay, should work. Now, I believe that's probably 8 p.m., the night of Saturday, September 13th. Perfect. Thank you. And then apparently he says, we don't want the sod. And then he talks about they have some fencing that's going to show up. This is the contractor. If you remember, there was some fencing that went around the upper perimeter. Is there an on-site contact we should coordinate with? Just pull it up, unload, install. Just get her done. Thank you. And then here is Monday after it is finished. Monday afternoon, patio is done. And then they talk about the flag, talk about it being a loaner. Do you have anyone coming to plaster the ceiling? This was interesting because the ceiling they're talking about is that tunnel that Charlie Kirk walked through before the event, the tunnel that they ran through with Charlie Kirk's body after the event, and the tunnel that a lot of people exited out of. Initially, there were some questions because they did repair the tunnel. The roofing of the tunnel had some spalling. It looks like it's concrete spalling or some sort of damage to the underside of that tunnel or the underside of the ceiling of that tunnel. And they were sort of concreting over that, fixing it. And there were some questions of, well, was it damaged in the attack? Is this evidence of a bullet? Is this evidence of some sort of explosion? But I tracked down some really high quality footage I'm not allowed to show because that was the deal. I was able to look at it but not show it. And the high quality footage was taken from somebody who was at the event. And you can see that ceiling before the event and the damage is already there. And so the damage didn't come during the event. And my guess is they took advantage of the fact that, hey, we're already beautifying this area. Let's just go ahead and fix that while we're at it. So that's what he was talking about. Do you have anyone coming to plaster the ceiling? Not yet. We'll get working on that piece. So-and-so's on it. He'll be on site tomorrow morning to assess with so-and-so. Then they're talking about the flag again, I think. We do want it brightly lit. Then they brought things. This person says, when will I see something from the architect? Now, this is weeks later, on Monday, September 29th. So let's go back to this here. This is somebody asking if they want the sod. We don't want that sod. You can junk that. Sounds good. We'll get it out of here. And then he says, stand by. We do want some over by the event center. And then he circles a spot here on this path. Now, I have tracked down that path on a map. I know where that path is. I don't believe they ever laid that sod because I have before and after picture from that very spot. And it doesn't look like the sod was actually laid there. So I don't know what they did with it. Said, okay, there's a couple small spots east of the ticket booth at the event center that did not take. It will be very obvious if they go take a look. It was too hot when we laid it. This will be around. This go around will be great timing. The sod will easily lift up. The new pieces can easily be put back in place. I looked on a map, some aerial photography taken the day of September 10th, east of the ticket center, east of the event center, east of the ticket booth at the event center. And it does not look to me anyway, as if the sod was laid down fresh, but it's possible I'm wrong about that. Maybe that sod didn't take either. And he says, after we do that, are we okay to remove the remaining sod? Yes, we won't trash it. So if UVU needs it in the future, we'll have it. Sod is pretty cheap. So somebody still has this sod, or at least did at the time this was sent. And then they said gray pad. This is it. This is interesting in a disgusting way. Apparently, red is something they were considering for the pavers. Now, keep in mind, a man lost his life in this location. And red pavers kind of would look like blood. So he said gray pavers on it. And then he sends a pin where the new sod needs to be placed. I don't know if it got placed there. It doesn't look like it to me. Then they talk about the irrigation, not really relevant. Then they said the media was there, bothering the team. And then he said, can you find more fencing for the top of the kiva? We'd like it with smaller gaps. Add to the temporary fencing at the top. Yes, please. Okay, we're on it. Thank you. Sounds like UU has some we can use. If so, we'll bring it down ASAP. What's interesting about UU is that's the University of Utah. Their color is red. And it sounds like that might have become an issue because he said, nice. We want to fully fence off the top of the plaza as it begins the stair step. Yes, the top edge. UVU has some barriers available, but they are bright red. No, thank you. Any other color. Again, they're staying away from the red theme, I assume, because of the death of Charlie Kirk that took place at this very location. I can't think of any other reason they would be staying away from red. I know I thought the same thing. Laughy face. I mean, that's a little dark for me, if I'm being honest. I don't know that a laughy face was appropriate there, but people say weird things by text, and it's hard to, understand tone and tenor and meaning and all that. Tell me how many spouses have fought, or boyfriend, girlfriend, or father, child, or mother, child have fought over the tone of a text, right? It happens. It happens. They made the change to the paver color this morning. And then they've talked about being able to get some galvanized, that's gray fencing from the state fair. And then they have 182 feet of fencing. So that's how the conversation ends. Again, that's Project Constitution had that text thread up. I think he got it from Shadow of Ezra on there, but it shows the amount of thought that went through this. Now, what about the pavers? Do we have more evidence that these pavers were put down in a massive hurry? Well, yeah, we do. As a matter of fact, we do, because one of the FOIA requests, or they call it in Utah a GRAMA request, GRAMA. I'm not sure exactly what that stands for. I'm assuming the R stands for record, government record, something. One of the requests was for the receipts for all this work. Now we know how much it cost to do the install and the cleanup. It was over $30,000, $36,000 they spent at the drop of a hat in order to excavate the crime scene, to make sure the crime scene was completely destroyed so no independent investigation could ever be done. No defense team investigation could ever be done at this crime scene. But notice where the pavers came from. Pavers from Lowe's. They went to Lowe's and got the pavers. Nothing wrong with Lowe's. It's a fine store. I go to Lowe's regularly. We have a Lowe's and a Home Depot here in town. I use them both. Depends on what side of town I'm on. If I need to stop at Lowe's, if I need to stop at a home improvement store and I'm on that side of town, I stop at Lowe's. If I'm on that side of town, I stop at Home Depot. I have no problem in the world with Lowe's. It's just weird to me that I don't know. I don't know where I thought these things would come from. I guess I thought there was like a place professional pavers got their pavers from. But here is the receipt on September 15th at 4:11 p.m. for the return of the pavers. These are the returns of the excess pavers here on the afternoon of the 15th. So September 10th was Wednesday, 11th was Thursday, 12th was Friday, 13th Saturday, 14th Sunday, the 15th. So this is the afternoon of Monday, the 15th is when they return it. And this is the actual purchase the day before, the afternoon of the 14th at 4:30 p.m. That's Sunday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. And I find it interesting that he put it on 6 different Visa cards, but that's just interesting because it's weird to me. But yeah, it's amazing on a decentralized investigation with everybody asking for documents, what you can actually come across. Let's see. No, I don't want to play. All right, now let me switch gears here. Because there's still several things about the case. I mentioned the paving over the crime scene. I've distilled this case to like 6 things that bother me. And when I put them all on a sheet of paper and I looked at them, I figured out why it bothered me. It bothered me because they all pointed to one thing. And a lot of these things that bother me aren't about the actual death of Charlie Kirk. It's actually things that took place months in advance of this death. For example, we start with the fact that Charlie and Erika Kirk sold their house. They sold their house. I'm looking at the deed here. Daisy's done a remarkable job redacting the deed, but I'm not going to show it because YouTube really gets weird when you show documents that have home addresses, even though it's redacted, even though they no longer live there. I still don't want to risk it. It's out of respect to people. You don't want to invade their privacy if you don't have to. But the date of the sale, if you look at the date of the sale on here, it's January of 2025. January of 2025, they sell a $5.25 million house. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this house. I don't know that we've ever shown it on this show because of the privacy angle. This was a verifiable mansion. It's in one of the nicest neighborhoods in the entire country, frankly. A beautiful area of Scottsdale, which is a beautiful area of Arizona, which is a beautiful area of the country. This is a $5+ million house. In terms of the percentage of people in the United States who live in a $5.25 million house, it's very small. Well less than 0.1% of the country lives in a house like this. So you're dealing with a very, very beautiful house. It's got a pool. It's got a little guest place. It's got a little pool house. It's got a massive garage, lots of bedrooms, lots of bathrooms, living rooms. I mean, it's just the whole 9 yards. If you ever look it up on one of those real estate websites where you can sort of walk through the house, it's gorgeous. I mean, the place is fantastic. They sold this house in January and they moved to a condo. And if you look at Erika Kirk's interview with the New York Times, this condo was something they owned before they sold the house. And she referred to it as kind of a way station between the house and the headquarters, TPUSA headquarters. Well, it's only like 20 minutes away. You don't need, ladies and gentlemen, a way station when you're driving 20 minutes. You don't need a stopping point. Like if you're at work and you have a building and an office and a really nice suite in that building, Charlie had like a third of a building to himself, a big, gigantic building that was his. If you have a building like that you work out of and you have a $5.25 million mansion 20 minutes away, you don't need a condo, $1 million+ condo between the two. That doesn't make sense. But that's what they had. That's what they had. They had $1 million+ condo in a beautiful controlled access condo facility right next to the Scottsdale airport between their $5.25 million mansion and the house and his work. And then they sold the house. People typically only sell a house for 4 reasons. One is they're moving into a new house and they sell the house and then they move into the new house. That's option A. The other 3 are tragic: death, divorce, and disease. So from what we can tell, neither one of them died in January of 2025. So that's not why they sold the house. Neither one of them had a disease that we're aware of. So if those are the 4 reasons people typically sell a house: death, divorce, disease, and moving into a new house, and they didn't move into a new house, they moved into a condo, a substantial downsizing. So that's not why they did it. They didn't do it for death or disease. Let's just keep that in the back of your mind. Why might they have sold the house? Then you have from the Jesse Waters interview, Erika Kirk explaining that the night before Charlie passed away, he did not sleep in his own bed. That was news at the time. We weren't aware of that. She shared that voluntarily, and I'm not sure why she did. It made her look terrible. But she said he didn't sleep in his own bed, but there was another little fact that she dropped in that interview. It was that he was not wearing his wedding ring or his necklace. Now, we were told he never took the necklace off or the wedding ring. In fact, most people who wear a wedding ring don't take it off. I mean, it's just on all the time. I don't wear one because I work out a lot. I hang on pull-up bars and rigs and lift barbells and dumbbells and kettlebells, and it damages your finger, damages the ring, damages your finger. I don't want to take it on and off and lose it all the time, so I have it in a safe place. If I get dressed up, I'll put it on. But generally speaking, I don't. But people who wear one wear it all the time. You don't take it on and off. Wedding ring, leave it on. Particularly men. But that night, he wasn't wearing his wedding ring. He wasn't wearing his necklace because she said he had to come back in before he left to go to Utah to grab his necklace and his wedding ring, and he did not tell her goodbye. Now, if I was going to leave for several days and Mrs. Coleman was asleep, I would not tell her get out of bed and make me breakfast, but I would say, hey, I'm leaving, taking off, love you, bye, and then leave. And you open one eye and I love you too, and then go back to bed. I think most people in a marriage are that way. But she tells Jesse Waters he didn't sleep in his own bed the night before. He was not wearing his wedding ring or his necklace that she gave him as a gift for his first anniversary. And he wasn't wearing his wedding ring. He had to come back in to get the necklace and the wedding ring, and he had to come back in because he wasn't in there. He was in another room. And I started thinking of that, and I started thinking of the fact that they sold the house and no one was dying and no one had a disease and they didn't move into another house. So I have those two things, and they're bothering me. They're bothering me about this case. They're just in the back of my head. They're constantly rattling around. Then I have that weird image I can't get out of my head of Erika Kirk doing that interview she did with Glenn Beck. It was a Blaze interview. I'm going to show you the scene. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to show you the scene. You remember this interview she did where she kind of got weird eyes? It was the first time we ever saw her weird eyes. It was when we noticed, I think Allie Topfiles was the first one to notice his wedding picture had been removed from over her right shoulder. Audience left, stage right. It's where that scroll or whatever that is up there has taken the place. But in that interview, if you recall, she's looking around the desk and she said, well, Charlie just made notes. He was constantly writing. He made notes all the time. And then she picks up a note and she said, for example, here's a note he left. And it was in his own handwriting. She kind of showed the screen and you could see it was in his handwriting. And in it, he gave two lists. It was like priorities or important things and not important things. And the important things he said were kids first, kids and family, legacy, he said. And the things that were not important, materialism, careerism, and loneliness. Those are things that he did not like. Things he did like were his kids, family. Kids first. At the risk of getting too theological here, Charlie seemed to understand the Christian theology pretty well. And I don't know how other religions handle this because I'm not of another religion. But if you look at other religions, or if you look at Christianity, this is great. Daisy actually found an image of this, so I don't have to play it. The Blaze is really bad about making you take stuff down. See that? Family, children, legacy, kids number one. Careerism, consumerism, loneliness. These are the things he's contrasting, these two things. And I think he's, frankly, contrasting them one at a time here. What gets in the way of family? Careerism. What gets in the way of your time with your children? Consumerism. You can kind of get caught up on buying your kids stuff and not actually spending time with them. What about your legacy? Well, what can get in the way of that? Loneliness, right? You get kind of stuck in despair. But look at that note and put that note in the context of he didn't sleep in his own bed the night before he passed away. He didn't have his wedding ring on. They sold the family home. They only lived in the family home a year or two and then sold it. But the whole kids number one thing, I can't get this out of my head because in Christian theology, kids are not number one. The spouse is number one. And that's a hard thing. It's a hard truth for people to understand. A lot of people get that wrong. They get it backwards. They put the kids number one and it destroys the marriage. They have nothing left because they've put all their energy into their children. And then one day the kids leave and they can't be at home in an empty nest with somebody because the marriage is gone. They were just parents. And the kids number one thing tells me now, if he was divorcing her, first time I mentioned that word, all this is kind of heading that way. If he was divorcing her, well, the kids would be number one at that point. No longer married to her. So that can't be number one. The marriage can't be number one if it doesn't exist. I don't know. Just mentioning it. And then we go to just this last week. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Let me do that again. We go to just this last week. We get our principal talking about some information she had that she broke for the first time that she'd been sitting on. And put this information in the context of everything we've been talking about.
That I hadn't shared. I actually learned this some time ago, but today feels like a good time to do so. And let me preface this with the fact that this came from Erika. So it is, of course, plausible, always plausible that she lied. But I can confirm that she said it to multiple people. Not to me, but to multiple people. I have evidence of that. In the weeks following Charlie's assassination, she shared with people that Charlie and her were due to sign updated end-of-life documents on September 15th. Let me say that again. Charlie and her had an appointment and a date to sign updated end-of-life documents on September 15th, the Monday after he died.
Hey, Daisy, can you find that countdown post on Instagram? I just thought of something while I was watching it. That weird countdown post where her mom was in it. Why would you sign updated end-of-life documents? End-of-life documents being a will, a proxy, a healthcare proxy, a living will. Well, most people's living wills don't change. Right? You either do or don't want end-of-life treatment. Right? You know, some people have a living will that says DNR. I don't want to be on an intubated. I'm terminal. I don't want to be saved just to be miserable and be, panicked. And that's not how I want to go out. So some people will do a DNR. If I die, just let me die. That would be an end of life document. Some people have a living will that says, hey, I'm a young father of 8 kids. Plug me in. On the off chance I make it, I'd like to be around to raise my kids. But most people don't change that absent some sort of terminal illness. Like you either do or don't. Your living will is kind of either theologically or politically or just personally, it's sort of is what it is. So you're not going to change that. Your last will and testament typically will, most of the time, if you have a spouse and kids, sort of be set up to, maybe put a bunch of stuff in with a trust with the kids and give the rest to my spouse. Or maybe if you're very, very wealthy, give the rest to my spouse, but cut off a little bit and give it to my university, or cut off a little bit and give it to my church, or cut off a little bit and give it to maybe TPUSA or some sort of 501c3 organization you really believe in, right? Give them $100,000, give them $1 million, give them $10 million, however much money you have. And so you probably wouldn't update those if you were intended to remain married. And your healthcare proxy, though, might change, because your healthcare proxy usually names somebody by name that you want making that call for you at if in the event you're unable to speak. You're out of it. Like a durable power of attorney or a healthcare proxy, somebody who can sign documents on your behalf, somebody who can, durable power of attorney, if it's constructed right, they can sell your real estate, they can access your bank accounts, they can buy and sell stocks. There's a lot of things they can do. They can withdraw money. They can do it. They can act as you with a durable power of attorney. A healthcare proxy, they can kill you. That's morbid, not to be morbid, but they can kill you. Like, they can pull the plug on you. They have the healthcare proxy. They're making healthcare decisions on your behalf. So if you're planning to get divorced, you might want to update your last will and testament. You might want to update your healthcare proxy. But I can't think of any other reason you would want to necessarily update them, absent some major development of some sort. I mean, typically, if you're married with kids, you don't name the kids individually in the will unless there's some reason you're cutting one of them out. You just say, to all my kids, divide evenly, or put it in a trust and it's for their health, education, and welfare, some sort of trust that will take care of them. And then, the corpus at some point will burst and the money will be distributed to the trust, to the beneficiaries. That end of life thing was weird. Update the end of life documents. What if it wasn't the end of life documents? What if it was something else? Because I just thought of this while I was watching this. I'm going to play it on mute, I think. If I can. Yeah, this is interesting. So this was some sort of a countdown. See this here? This is her Instagram page. 10 days the way, September 16th. Well, he was going to sign end-of-life documents on September 15th. So what was September 16th? What is that countdown for? And why is her mom in it? When I just heard that just now, I wondered if that was the first day of her new life. Like, we're going to sign papers and it's just going to be my mom and me again after this on September 16th. Like, if Candace was right and they were signing papers on September 15th, September 16th would be the first day of her new life. If those papers weren't really end of life documents, they were end of marriage documents. I don't know. I just thought that just now while we were looking at that. Because I remember that being about the same time, September 15th, September 16th. And then Daisy found what she believes is their last public appearance together prior to Charlie being taken out. Now, there may be a more recent appearance, but we've been unable to find one. This was at the Young Women's Leadership Summit at the Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center in Grapevine, Texas, back in June. This was taken on June 13, 2025. June 13, 2025. I don't know why. It's a weird getup, but whatever. She's dressed in this pink flowy thing. I haven't seen where they were together after that. Not seen in public together. He has a podcast. It's right in their hometown. Is it possible that truly was their last public appearance, that they weren't seen the rest of June, all of July, all of August, and the first 10 days of September? I mean, we're talking parts of 4 different months. Talking July, August, September, almost 3 full months, 90 days where they weren't seen together. And then there's the biggest telltale sign of them all. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, when you start seeing this on social media, people are in trouble. I find social media posters come in three varieties. You have people who live a little bit more of a public life and their spouse is a little more private. That's my situation. I've been public now for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, where I sort of post as a public person. I don't post a lot of my kids. I don't post a lot of my wife, because I don't want them harassed out if they're out somewhere in public. And I don't know. It's just the way we've always been. So you have those people. Then you have people who post everything together. Like, you go to their Facebook page and they've got 40 profile pictures. And every single one is a picture of them together. And like every fifth one is a wedding picture, because women look great with their wedding. I mean, that's like, for most women, that's the best they've ever looked. So they love putting that one up. And you keep swiping on them to look for a profile picture of them alone, and you can't find one. And every picture on every single post is them together. It's them and their kids. It's them on vacation. It's them. And then like every fifth or 10th post, it's them on their wedding day. That tends to fade with time. After you've been married 20 or 25 years, you don't really go to the wedding photo anymore. But someone who's only been married 4 years, the wedding photo is a very common post. Particularly women. They love posting the wedding photo. Well, Charlie was a bit this way. He had his personal posts where he might be giving a speech or something like that, but he had a lot of posts of him and Erika together, him and Erika and the kids, him and Erika here, him and Erika. You know, when you come across somebody like that and all their posts are together, and then all of the sudden it's just them and the kids, guess what's happening? I mean, guys, this is as sure as the sun is going to rise tomorrow, what I'm telling you right here. When you have a friend and they have a pattern and practice, to borrow from legal terminology, the pattern and practice of your friend is to post couple pictures or couple pictures with kids, and that's all they post. And then all of a sudden, they're only posting pictures of them and their kids. They're getting divorced. They just are. Like 99.9% of the time. It's so sure that if you were to bet money on it, you would become a trillionaire. If you could find someone stupid enough to take that bet. And you just kept taking that bet, kept taking that bet, kept taking that bet. You would become a trillionaire. That's how sure it is. Let me show you Charlie Kirk's last two posts on Instagram. Guys, this is the divorced dad post. Like, that's, I mean, like, hey, here's me and my daughter. So that's one. And then you get this one. These were his last two posts on Instagram. Now, notice he tagged Erika in the first one, but not the second one. Now, this is the picture of him and the boy. Erika always talks about Gigi, rarely talks about Mac. Almost never. But that's the old, I don't want to spoil all the guys' secrets, but when they're posting pictures of how good of a cook they are, how clean they are, how great their job is, here's me and my kids, look what a great dad I am. They're advertising, guys. Ladies, I'm just telling you, that's the way it is. They're on their way out. And so you put all this together. You get the selling of the house for no reason. The house they lived in for like 18 months. A multi-million-dollar mansion. Selling of the house and moving into a condo. Then you get the Jesse Waters interview. He wasn't wearing his wedding ring. He wasn't sleeping in the room. He didn't tell her goodbye. Then you get the note she found on the desk where he's talking about kids first, consumerism, materialism, careerism. That sounds like he's kind of pushing back on somebody who materialism is sort of her thing. Consumerism sort of her thing. I mean, just look at her jewelry. Then you go to we're changing the end of life documents on September 15th. Well, that's weird. Why would you change those? And now you add to that what we've dawned on me tonight is the weird countdown nobody ever explained and nobody ever talked about, which was Erika Kirk announcing something in 10 days with her mom, almost like it's going to be us again. You and me, Mom. Then you go to their last public appearance together was almost 90 days before he passed away. And then you go to his last 2 social media pics were just him and the kids. And the last one didn't even tag her. I just get this sneaking suspicion that they were in trouble. I mean, real trouble. I don't know that you can know for sure based on this stuff, but I mean, what is an investigation but looking for things and saying, oh, that sure seems to point this way. Let's look into that further. I think that sure seems to look as if he was leaving her. Or that she was leaving him. I don't know. And to me, I don't know. Anyway, I had one more thing I wanted to show tonight. It's the most emotion I've ever seen her display. And the only time I ever think I've seen her show real emotion. This is again from Project Constitution. I stole this from his ex. His watermark's on here, so it's not like I stole it too much. It's the most emotion I've ever seen Erika display. There's been a lot of questions about, well, she's not acting like a grieving widow. She's laughing at emojis. Oh, look at the emojis. Look at the little thumbs up. 5 days after he's dead. Oh, hat sales, merch sales. Oh, everybody's weirded out by all this stuff. And we can't quite figure it out. We don't quite know what it is. We sort of are struggling trying to identify what's happening here. And it sure looks like a lack of emotion. And then we finally find a video where she shows real emotion. And it is, well, I'll let you be the judge of what the emotion's about. If you have trouble hearing it, I'll tell you what it says.
My husband, as tradition, would donate his entire paycheck back into the organization. I am following suit. It is my honor and deepest pleasure to pledge my entire paycheck back into this organization.
We found her emotion. We found her emotion. Her emotion is when she has to donate her entire paycheck back to the organization. That's when she cries. I'm telling you, we just figured it out. Now, she'll laugh 5 days after he passes away. She'll laugh about emojis. She'll brag about hat sales. She'll use the first opportunity that she speaks publicly on his death, all in white, standing beside his chair, up talking. She was up talking there, by the way. It's my great privilege, my honor, to donate my entire paycheck back to the organization. But she cried about it. Like that, I think that was genuine emotion. This is the first time I've seen genuine emotion from Dr. Kirk. This is the first time I've seen Dr. Kirk have any real emotion. And I believe she was torn up. I think she was crushed. I think they told her, you should do this. And she's like, oh, you kidding me? It's like $500,000 a year. Over 5 years, that's $2.5 million. Erika, honey, darling, your husband did it. You should do it as well. And then she cries. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was real emotion from Dr. Kirk. Newly Dr. Kirk, but Dr. Kirk nonetheless. Dr. If you have not taken the opportunity to like the video yet, please, by all means, now would be an excellent time to take advantage of the opportunity I'm getting you to do that. This is my first show back. I hope I'm as good as a grandfather as I was as just a father of 8. I hope it met your expectations. It was a little longer than normal, but I wanted to get through all that. If you have let me say that. If you have any questions, you ever want to reach out to the show, you're more than welcome to email Real Baron Podcast, at gmail.com, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Please don't email any other emails. I have several other emails I've used for work over time, and personal emails. Don't email. Even if you see them occasionally pop up on the screen, don't email. It's annoying because I have to go. I don't read them. I just go through and block everybody. So that would be wonderful if you would do that. But I do want to take a time to get through some of your comments. Honestly, being able to interact with you is the part I missed the most over the last week. I genuinely miss being able to reach out and answer questions and interact. I'm gifting memberships to the best podcast on any network, RBP. Are you saying mine is the best on any network? And then you dropped 5 membos on people's heads just like that? Very kind of you. Thank you. Very kind of. Kimberly, thank you. I will be doing a member show this week. I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow or Tuesday or Friday, but I am going to do a member show this week. Not sure which day. We missed you. Congrats, Granddad. Many prayers to the Coleman family during this special time. Christ is King indeed. It is a special time. Congrats on becoming a grandfather. Thank you. It is not a baby boy. You were wrong. But as a psychopath hunter, I don't think you may be wrong a lot, but no, you were definitely wrong there. You had a 50-50 shot and you missed it. You guessed heads and it was tails. You guessed tails every time. Congrats, Granddad. Welcome to baby Coleman to the grand jury. Yes. The youngest is going to be a member of the grand jury. No doubt about it. Congratulations on the new baby and welcome back. Have you noticed that Victor Marks is hanging the flag of ISIS underneath the lion picture? What a moron. Christ is King indeed. I did notice that, but I was afraid someone would ask him about it and he would tell some weird story about how he infiltrated some ISIS cell and, wrestled them to the ground and ripped it out of their... That was a weird interview. I almost did a whole show on that. That was a weird interview of Victor Marks and Candace Owens. I have a lot of opinions on that. Congratulations, Granddad. Thank you. Congrats. Thank you all you do. God bless you and your family. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. MORFAR. Yes, I am a MORFAR. A real one. Not a far parading around as a MORFAR. No, I'm a MORFAR. A mofo? No, a MORFAR. Congratulations on becoming a granddad. Grandbabies are the best. So happy you're back. We missed you. I missed you. And they are the best. Not a lot of money, but God bless that new grandbaby. Many, many blessings. Follow them all the days on Pentecost 2. Blessed is in the name of the... I see a little cross sign. I'm not sure what those other two are. Thank you, though. Thank you. Congrats on the new edition. Welcome back. Christ is King indeed. Congrats on becoming a grandfather from the grand jury. Thank you. So happy you're back. Thank you. Happy to be back. Asking for some prayers from fellow Christ followers as I'm quitting my job to open up a faith-based shop and need his direction. What is that emoji? Coffee? Un café? Yes, you're opening a coffee shop. That's amazing. Best of luck to you. And prayers headed your way. Shabbat shalom, Granddad's home. Yes. That's funny. Congrats to 25. My parents are now 40 years. Love is unconditional. A little something for new baby. Missed you. Love from London. Checking in the middle of the night over. Thank you. It's a different kind of love. Congrats, Granddad. It is a different kind of love. And I just figured that out this weekend. I did not know that. I've heard that, but I did not know that until I experienced it. Congratulations on your family's new bundle of love. So excited for you all. Hope your daughter's doing well. God bless your beautiful family. She's doing amazing. Man, she bounced back. She's amazing. She is fantastic. She's a great already. Congratulations, Gramps. I'll allow it. You can call me Gramps. You're not going to offend me. You look so happy. Love to see it. So glad you're back. I'm ecstatic. Over the moon. Operating on almost no sleep. And you wouldn't know it because of how happy I am, truly. Trav perk needs to go. I don't know what that means. What's a Trav perk? So glad you're back. Congrats on your little grand bundle of joy. Hope mom and baby are well. Edge, mom and baby are fantastic. Congratulations. Welcome to the Grandparent Club. Now you understand the crazy different love we have for our grands. God is good and Christ is king. Yeah, it's different. I thought having a 5-year-old at home and a 7-year-old at home, it wouldn't be that much different. It just is. It's just hard to explain, but it is. Congrats to you and your family, Baron. Grandkids are the best. I've got a 3-year-old grandson and another grandson coming in July. Congratulations. Sounds like your heart is full. Congratulations, Grandpa, and congrats to the new mommy. Yes, she's amazing. You're now officially old. I was old before. I put a picture of me in awe of the new little bundle on X. If you've not seen that, you can go over there and look at it. But you want to talk about feeling old? Look at a picture of you in awe of your grandchild with a gray beard wearing hearing aids. I'll pull it up. It just doesn't get older than this. This is peak old. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. You just don't get older than this. As old as it gets right here. How do I check this out? You want to talk about old? Look at this. This is your humble host being as old as he can possibly be. You see that? That beard is 90% white now. I got little hearing aids skeezing in over here, over the ear. And I got, the 46 plus years of furrows. But I couldn't be happier. I mean, I was just in awe. Absolutely in awe. So yeah, one of those days. Where was I here? Was this you? God is good. Christ is king indeed. Was that? I don't remember where I was. Congrats to the new mommy. Yes. Congrats, you're now. Oh, that was it. I'm officially old. Yes, I'm old. And from Latvia. We're huge. Huge in Latvia. Did Mrs. C doula? I'm a doula with 2 daughters and curious what's that's like. Totally different, but also same, I'm sure. Would love to hear about it. She did doula, as a matter of fact. There actually another doula was there as well. So she was doulaed up. Like the whole room was full. But it was great. It was a great experience. No, she was doulaed up. There was a hang on a second. There was a moment where your kids are always your kids. No matter how independent they are, living on their own, all that. Becoming parents. But I was kind of off to the side, minding my own business. And, it was getting down to go time. And I was trying to stay out of it. Looking at my phone, like not watching. And, gosh, I don't know if I should tell this story. Yeah, probably. But in a fit of, I don't know if it was fear or anxiety or desperation or what. When your kids fall off a bike or something, and they go, Daddy, and they're like scared, and you come running over and everything's all right. I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like trying to stay out of it. and I hear, Daddy. And I was like, oh my. So I try to comfort the best I can and stay out of it at the same time. But it was a very emotional moment. It was they're always your kids. Always your kids. So totally different. You do love her more, but it's okay. Well, not more, different. I love her differently. I love my kids all the same, but I love them differently. You know, that's just reality. Like you have a different relationship with your oldest than you do your youngest. You have a different relationship with your middle child. You have a different relationship with your grandchild. But you know, love is love. Each child, it's amazing. Someone told me this when I first started having kids, and it's true. Each child actually grows your capacity to love, and you didn't realize that was possible, but it does. It does. Congrats, Granddad. My first grandchild was a girl and was born on 5/22. She turned 19 this year. Grandchildren are the best. Prayers for the whole family and super congrats to all. Wearing my pink for you. Thank you. Real DD61. Thank you. Thank you. 19. Wow. Time flies. My first child is 19. I make custom rosaries. Do you accept customs to grow your business? I make them so many people and love to grow a larger audience as well. But I'm not doing any advertising if that's what you're asking. But I actually have a custom, a listener or viewer. I don't know what we call people on podcasts, but sent that rosary there, and I hung it on. It's beautiful. And I've used it. But yeah, I happy to take a look at anything. I don't accept gifts well. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at it. I'm awful at it. Always have been. First super chat ever. We missed you so much. That's so exciting. A new baby girl. You both deserve time away. Thank you for sharing your opinion on the CK investigation. It's greatly valued. Looking forward to many more life triumphs with you. Thank you, Kimberly. That's awfully kind of you. I had like I said, we had our time away so that it would be far enough away from the delivery. Mrs. Coleman and I snuck off for 3 or 4 days. That it would be far enough away from the delivery that we could get back to life. But it was the next morning. It was not far enough away at all. Because you're different. Oh, I don't know what that was too, but I appreciate it. I hope I'm different from someone who's bad. Love being a grandparent. There's nothing like it. Enjoy every moment. I'm trying. I'm soaking it in. I'm doing my best. You have no idea the love you'll feel until it happens. Congratulations. Hide your credit cards. You'll be wanting to buy her everything. Oh. Gosh, is that true? That's going to get bad if that. Baron, it's so good to have you back. Been a tough week without you, but for a grandbaby, I'll allow it. Congratulations to you and the even larger Coleman family. Christ is King indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Blessings to you, Baron. Just know we all missed you as well, but glad you got some well-deserved time off. Spent all the time you can with your grandbaby. Hope you are refreshed. What a week. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, it was a week. It was the most eventful week I've had in a long time. Once upon a time, you told us about having to let surrender happen. Pray, hope, don't worry. Padre Pio. Yeah, Padre Pio, don't compare me to a saint, obviously, but yeah, that's great advice. Pray, hope. Grandparenting completes the emotions of parenting. Wow, I hadn't thought about it that way. That's interesting. Congrats, Granddad. God certainly had a perfect plan for you to be back just in time for your sweet granddaughter's arrival. I've missed your show so much. I'm elated to be here. Love you, B. Love you too, Miss Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson, but we didn't go far. We stayed in town for that reason. I mean, she was 8 months along, and you never know. So we didn't want to be gone. But we found a nice place close. Your heart just grows a new chamber when you become a grandparent. Congrats to the family. A new chamber. That sounds medically damaging. 4 chambers is all I want. I don't want a 5th chamber. I don't know how that would work. I've given birth to 2 beautiful babies, one just 8 weeks ago. Completely natural. It was the best experience I've ever had. Motherhood is a gift from God. Yeah, It's always amazing because I forget people don't have natural babies because that's been my only experience with my wife. And when you talk to people, very few people have had natural babies. And when you go to the hospital, you realize how few people have had them because people want to come in and observe. They don't see a lot of them. So you end up with a full room with people wanting to see the natural delivery process. Brandon, I know a lot is happening in this world, but the arrival of his precious new baby fills our hearts with hope. We'll fight like warriors for her, fiercely protecting her with unwavering love and strength. Yeah, that was one of the things going through my head that night. Is what's the world going to be like? What am I giving this girl? Post office is going to love you now with incoming baby gifts for the little princess. Congratulations, my bee. Oh, I forgot about the post office. Yeah, they don't like me too much. They liked me at first. They thought it was cute. I'd show up at the desk and they'd hand a couple packages over. Now I show up and they're like, go away. Congratulations, Baron, and God's blessing on your daughter and granddaughter. Christ is king indeed. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Grandpa Baron, God is good. Christ is king indeed. God is very good. God is good, like good. Not like good like we think, but like good. My 11-year-old saw your face and said, he must be a granddad now. Look how happy he is. I am happy. It's a different type of happy, but I'm very happy. Bless you and the fam, Baron. Thank you for sharing the joy. Thank you. Congrats on the new bundle of joy and beauty. So happy for everybody. Glad Miss Coleman got her anniversary vacation and a new baby. Happy early anniversary and all the blessings to you and yours. You think I look like I'm glowing? You ought to see Mrs. Coleman these days. She slept even less than I have, and she is like glowing. Yes, my bee. We're in a scary place right now with the White House chaos yesterday. People lost their life. That's tragic. But shootings happen in major cities every day. Like just, shooting near the White House isn't any scarier than a shooting in Philadelphia or Chicago or Detroit or Nashville or Houston or Phoenix or Los Angeles. It's tragic. Shouldn't happen, but they do. Biggest congrats, Granddad. Much love. Congratulations from Papa D to Papa B. Blessings on your new addition. God is good. Thank you, Danavision. I don't know what Danavision is, but I don't want it. I like your comment, though. Thank you. We're just so happy for y'all. Thank you. We're very happy. We are very happy. Congrats, Granddad. You're beaming. Vandy's great. Worked as an RM at Vandy's Children's Hospital and Recovery Room for 5 years. Then SICU at Vandy. I don't know what SICU is. This sounds terrible. Like, you're so sick, you have to go to the SICU. I don't know what that is. I know what the NICU is. I know what the ICU is. The SICU? You're toast if you go to the SICU. Like, you're sick. So happy, and may Christ bless you and growing family. Congrats to the entire family. Yeah, Vandy was great. I was not expecting it because I've always had a hassle there whenever I've had to go there. No, not sicko. I'm looking up what SICU. I looked up sicko. Oh, surgical intensive care unit. I guess you're pretty sick there too, though. I think I would call it something else. Like, you don't want to tell someone, oh, you're going to the SICU. You kind of want to keep their spirits up if they're going somewhere, right? I would think. I don't know. Congrats, good Granddad Baron. Only 19 more to go. No, 39 more to go. I made my kids promise me 40 grandchildren. With 8 kids, that's not unrealistic. It's only 5 apiece. They're getting off easy. I want 40. 39 to go. No pressure. I can already see you going live in the hospital, Jump for Joy. How good that you behaved well. I know. It was tough. You know how badly I wanted to go live when I held the baby? Yeah. I'm one of 5 kids. My mom took more, and my dad had far on their license plates to cover all their sons and daughters. Kids, P.S., this is my family too. I'm certain we all missed each other. Congrats. I love the license plate. I think MORFAR would be dynamite on the license plate. I hope it's not already taken. I don't know how many Swedes there are in Tennessee. Happy for you. Congratulations. It suits you well. You were made for this. Your granddaughter will be blessed to have you and Mrs. Coleman. Yes. Thank you. Mrs. Coleman's amazing. She's going to be an amazing grandmother. Bear on man up about natural birth 8 times. bold choice, LOL, as a natural birth mama, respectfully. No man could. Love you. Time off is so well deserved. You know, we could, honestly. I'm just messing with you. I know women don't allow that discussion. Like, that's one thing men can't do. So women are like, you'll never be able to handle it. And I probably, you know, look, for the sake of peace, I'm going to agree with you. I'll agree with you for the sake of peace. But thank you for that. Thank you. Congrats to the Coleman family. Hope mom and baby doing great. Great to have you back. They are doing amazingly well. Thank you. Thank you. And Baron, there is a delightful lightness and happiness about you today. Welcome to the club. I am 5 grandchildren in and absolutely understand what you're saying. Glory be for the addition of your special one. Yeah. If you've noticed, I'm lighter. It could have been the time away, but it's the grandchild. Never ever superheat. But I wanted to confirm being a grandparent is like falling in love. There's nothing like it. Congratulations and blessings to you and your entire family. Never ever superheat. Oh, super chat, I bet you meant. I don't superheat. Like, that's not something I do. I did get in a sauna. I love a sauna, but I don't superheat. But I've been known to super chat. From Helen, I'm a new Grammy. My grandson Luke is such a blessing. These are the words you are looking for. Nothing can prepare you for the joy of your first grandbaby. God bless. I was unaware that nothing could prepare me, but it's true. It's true. Congratulations on becoming grandparents to my favorite couple. While I'm glad you are hopefully able to decompress, it's a relief to see some nice hair again. Blake has been doing too much. What? Do I have good hair? I've always hated my hair. Never been a fan of my hair. Thank you. Congratulations, Grandpa. God bless you, your beautiful new granddaughter, and all the Coleman family. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Being a Nana has been the greatest blessing in my life. My mama didn't have the opportunity, so it means so much to me. Congratulations to you and family. Your mother must have passed young, and for that, I'm sorry. Because if you have children, your mother would have been a grandmother, but she must have passed young. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's amazing. Amazing. Charlie Kirk, not a fan of Governor Cox. For Charlie Kirk tweet, March 7, 2022. I don't know how you could be a fan of Governor Cox. He seems like a monster, if I'm being honest. Jesus Christ blessed you with a beautiful grandbaby. Enjoy every moment. He did indeed. He did indeed. And 2 natural births at home. I also used to be a doula, and I've cried at every birth except my own. Extreme hormone surge. Highest in a woman's life, and that affects everyone around the mom. Your humble host got a little emotional a couple times. I didn't boo-hoo, but my eyes messed it up. I didn't do the Erika Kirk, I didn't do that. But I got a little misty. Thank you. A generational love, and it's emotional, especially for men, because it's your lineage right there in your arms. It's awesome. Enjoy it. Welcome to the Grandparent Club. Thank you. Happy to be part of it. Congratulations, blessing the Coleman family from Papa and Mama Murphy. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Christ is King indeed. Thank you, Papa and Mama. I don't know what all that means. I see MORFAR in there. Congratulations, Granddad and Granny. Oh, this must be Sweetie talk. Oh, from Denmark. I am more to a 4-year-old girl and absolutely love getting to see her grow up and my daughter being a mother. I love that your culture, your Scandinavian culture, all use the same word. I love that. There's no like sugar pie honey bunch or something. Some of these people choose grandparent names that are like a little weird. I watched that podcast a few days ago. The tell was who instructed them to remove the dirt and pave it over. Yeah, the FBI. That was the weird part. Congrats, Granddad. New mom and Mrs. C. I don't know her name. Preference? Talking about Mrs. Coleman? Oh, Grandma. I said Grandma. We missed you. Fortunately, my SA Spurs are in the playoffs and entertained in your absence. I'll be honest, the Spurs game was on in the room at first, and then it got turned off when things got serious. Might have been watching it, and then it got shut down. Can a citizen or local state law office or police sue the FBI for obstruction? Citizen, no. Almost assuredly not. You'd have to show some violation of some civil right that's statutorily outlined. Like Section 1983, 84, 85. I don't think you'd be able to do that. Local state law office, I doubt it. I don't know. Not my forte, but I don't think so. My husband and I went on our anniversary trip week before last to Belize. Well, we did not go to Belize. I fell off a cliff, literally, got 4 stitches in my knee. Rough trip, but never missed an episode of You Were Kids. I can picture you in the hospital, anesthetized, some guy, some Belizean, whatever they call themselves, in there surgically repairing your leg. And you're like, shh, 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 shh. The principal's talking. Bizarre grade, slope, height now inaccurate, makes laser shot recreation wholly unreliable. Bureaucracy will never correct itself, much unelected. Oh, I see what you're saying. Now that everything's changed, they can't go recreate that's a good point. I hadn't considered that. Nice try, YouTube, in blocking super chats. What were they blocking? Cohen Film. What were they blocking? I like your super chats. B, thoughts on Victor M and Hunter B interviews. Also, I'd love to see Daily Fredo on Mimbo's show. She's great. Actually was going to play a clip of hers today and did not. I may get to that tomorrow. I like Daily Fredo. I've been watching her here last couple months. Like most people, I can't watch everything she puts out, but I do like her stuff. And she had a piece up the last couple of days I really, really liked and was going to play a piece of it tonight. Like I said, I may play it tomorrow. The Victor Marks interview, the guy's a psycho. I mean, there's no other way around it. He's a dishonest actor. He's I feel bad for everyone around the guy. The Hunter Biden interview, it humanized him, which is fine. I mean, he's a human. But I have a little trouble with Hunter Biden. I have a little trouble with Hunter Biden because of the gas board and the 10% kickback for the big guy and all that kind of stuff. Like the crack stuff, I mean, people make mistakes. Like I always tell people, I don't want to be judged by my lowest moment. I don't want to judge people by their lowest moment. And I think if you're a crackhead, that's probably your lowest moment, if we're all being honest with each other. That's a personal low moment, and I don't want to judge him on that. And I don't. I've never held it against him that he struggled with drugs or alcohol. I'm happy to see he's no longer struggling. But I don't see a sense of repentance from him for what I believe is just blatant corruption. And it bothers me a little. I would have loved to see out of him contrition for some of those things. I think it would have been a wonderful opportunity in front of a friendly interviewer. I mean, obviously she doesn't agree with him, I don't think, politically on a bunch of stuff, but it would have been a wonderful opportunity for him to say, and another thing, and then, repent. Say, hey, I used my dad's name to get a bunch of stuff and to get wealth and power and we had arrangements in the family that, and I shouldn't have done it, and I feel bad for doing it, and I wish other people didn't do it. Because what he's done is basically give the Trump kids a free pass. Frankly. Thank you. While the photographers, when they were repaving, probably because it was a famous crime scene and they were repaving it, excavating it and repaving it. Paving it, not repaving it. It wasn't paved. They were paving it, paving over the crime scene. It's like a metaphor for corruption. Congratulations, Grandpa. We genuinely missed our humble host. You and Mrs. Coleman deserve all the love and happiness. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations on new baby. Parenting is love. Clean your room. Get your homework done while we are going to work. Grandparenting is love. Undivided attention. Spoil more love. Cookies and ice cream. Best title ever. Oh, I'm going to have to buy some cookies and ice cream then. You're going to have to invest. If that's grandparenting, I need to invest. We don't have ice cream. Oh, sometimes we do. Not usually. Can you help me understand why this isn't a mistrial from the jump, please? I've never seen such blatant cover up ever. How can this not be an issue in the trial? Well, we don't have a jury. You can't have a mistrial before you have a sworn jury. Like everything that's taking place now is really irrelevant when it comes to the jury because we don't know what the judge is going to let in. And we don't know what the motions in limine were, and we don't know, are going to be because we haven't had them yet. And so it can't be a mistrial. That's something that happens at trial. We're not a trial. If you're asking why isn't this thrown out or whatever, it's because the judge has tremendous power to try to conduct a fair trial. Let's give him an opportunity. But Baron, congrats on becoming a granddad. My husband is German, and I watch every episode of yours. God bless you and your family. Or is he a granddad that goes by Jermaine? Wasn't that one of Michael Jackson's brothers, Jermaine? No, I don't think it was spelled that way. But I think wasn't that one of the Jacksons? Sitting here with my third grandbaby. There's no love like a grandchild. Well, figuring that out. Random lady of the night would get more of an investigation than CK got because the government wouldn't know who did it and would need to find out. Yeah. 911. Ships already there to take away the debris. Oh, 9/11. Oh, were they already there? I haven't looked into that part. There's a lot wrong with that. Is this the same construction you called who hung up? No. That was a different one. That was the Division of Facilities and Construction Management. They did not want to talk. Granddad Bear, and we missed you. Glad you were able to take some time off with the missus. And congrats again on your new grandbaby. You are blessed. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. I feel very blessed. Happy 25th. Congratulations on 300,000. Congrats on your first grandkid. What a month. May has been a month. I forgot the other one. I already forgot the 300 was in the month of May. Just 49 more to go. 39. Let's not put too much pressure on the kids. God bless you and your beautiful growing family. Thank you. Congratulations on becoming a granddad. The tunnel where Princess Diana died was opened only 4.5 hours after the crash. Seems ridiculously quick considering who she was. Yeah, but that was a traffic accident. I mean, I get that. You can't shut off the main artery forever. I mean, shut it down for weeks. That I kind of get. They didn't pave over the tunnel. That'd be like them entombing the tunnel in concrete. Be like, we don't have a tunnel. That's more of the apt comparison. Unfair to Gary Melton. He made many helpful gaffes. That is true. That wasn't the only good thing he did. It's a good point. And he blinks a lot. Gratis MORFAR. Congratulations, Grandpa. Oh, gratis indeed. I didn't know what that meant. Thank you. It's a menorah-shaped area, UVU. How Kabbalah. Yeah, I call it the menorah because that's obviously what it looks like. Interesting how there seem to be more detailed pictures of the cleanup than on 910. Also, a huge congratulations on being a granddad. Candace was cooking while you were out. Glad to have you back, B. She was. Now, Mrs. Coleman and I made a deal. We weren't going to be on social media and watching YouTube videos and podcasts and all that. Your humble host might have sneaked in a little of the principal here and there. But I was pretty good other than that. Just a few minutes here and there. Had particularly the Victor Marks thing, I had to know. But yeah, she was cooking. I'm very concerned by the lack of photography and videography on 910 itself because I saw a lot of cameras up at the moment of the Big Bang, and I see very few images of it. Need Paver emergency merch. That's a good one. Congratulations, Granddad. God bless. Yes, that's a great one. We do need Paver emergency. We have a Paver emergency. You never know. Stay out of my curtains, Erika. You may sit on the couch, but don't play in my curtains. Yeah. Forgot about that. She's welcome to come over, but she may not play in the curtains. Curtains are expensive. You're messing them. Happy to have you back. Congrats on becoming grandparents. It's a wonderful, lovely stage of life. Blessing to your daughter and new little family. Take care, Julia. Well, thank you, Julia. I always believed in God logically and wished I could feel it emotionally. I'm 35 years old. After giving birth to my daughter, who's nearing 2 years old, I feel it physically and feel I'm closer to God every day. Yeah. My wife chastised me the other day. It was not St. John of God who wrote Dark Night of the Soul. It was St. John of the Cross. Anyone going through a Dark Night of the Soul should read about it. It's amazing. Puts it very nicely. I knew it. I knew that my parents loved being grandparents more than being parents. I didn't get no dang cookie every day. Congratulations, Grandpa Barron. Well, don't take it out on me. I was not your grandpa. But I don't blame him. Love doesn't belong to any one religion or those without religion. Love belongs to everyone and can be felt by everyone. That's correct. But love, I believe, is evidence of a higher being, higher power. Love is not a collection of electrons floating around in your brain. I mean, that's not love. Love is from the higher being. Congrats, B. Hold on. Oh. My back end told me that YouTube crashed, but it does not look like it did. I got the big that happens when YouTube crashes. Congrats, Baron, for super chat. Just hearing you share the love for your first grandbaby pulled on my heartstrings to want to give a little something to support your family. May God bless you all. Thank you, Mama Bear. I love a good Mama Bear. That's good. Congrats, MORFAR. I have 16 grandkids. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. That is a blessing. Barbara Child's Coaching. I don't know what Child's Coaching is, but thank you for sharing that. 16, that's amazing. I paid for 30 years in northeastern Nevada. We contracted to the city of Elko. Only once did we have an emergency job. Water break. Rose a main street afoot. We paved it 4 days later. Monday. Oh, Monday. I bet you meant Monday. Lunes. Yeah, there's no such thing as a paver emergency. That's not a thing, guys. Just in case I wasn't clear about that, there was no paver emergency. There's no such thing as a paver emergency. Totally off subject, but I've listened to your show as I study since September. Love the faith, the vibes, the chat, the laughs. Just want to say I finally graduated this past Friday. Christ is King indeed. Congratulations on the family edition. Well, that is wonderful news, Noah. Thank you for sharing that. Glad we could get you to graduation. I like to believe you wouldn't have gotten there without us. That's not true. You sound like a bright kid. Gary, can you imagine TR getting on his cell phone in jail and coordinating the removal of soil at UVU to make sure that it was paved over by Monday? Oh, Lord, help us, please. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, it's an evidence of a cover-up. Let's just be honest. I have one beautiful 20-month-old granddaughter. Couldn't wait to be called Grandma, but she calls me Gaga. I'll take it. So here's my thought on that. I bet you she can say Grandma today, right? So make her say Grandma. That's my thought. I don't think the baby's going to come out and say Granddad as his first word, or her first word, but eventually she'll be able to say it. And I'm not getting stuck with some weirdo name. But Gaga's not weirdo. I didn't mean that in a bad way. But I mean, no one speaks with perfect diction right out of the womb. I'm going to be welcoming my very first grandbaby any day now. Your story about your own grandbaby brought tears to my eyes and inspired me to send you my very first super chat. Love you, Baron. Thank you. Alan, I pray for you. Or Allie. Are you Allie in or Alan? Either way, I'll pray for you because it's an experience. I was not expecting it, to be honest with you. We need an APB on where the dirt was taken. Someone knows. Congratulations on the granddaughter. Christ is King indeed. Yes. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. on your first grandchild. Prayers to your daughter as she begins this beautiful journey. She's blessed to have you and Mrs. Coleman and family so close by. Yeah, we're very close. We all live very near each other. And she's got a great grandmother very close as well. So plenty of family right here. Baron, I heard that up talk. Yes. I know. It was tragic. Sorry. We feel like part of the family too. Congrats, Granddad Baron. Kristen, thank you, Critter. I really appreciate that. You are part of the family. Not like the TPUSA family. We don't remove people from this family. Tales old as time, FBI doing things without looping in CI. Worst communication? Can't get their story straight because each wants to be the large member. Yeah, maybe. Congratulations. Thank you, Lazarus. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you. Grandchildren opened up a new chamber of your heart that you never knew existed. It's a whole new love. Congratulations to your family, Crisis King. I'm a little concerned with this chamber business. I don't need any cardiac incident. The heart is perfectly designed with its 4 chambers, ventricles, atria. We don't need anything else here. You open up a new hole in the heart. You may go throw a clot or something. Glad you're back and congrats on your new baby. Grandkids are the absolute best. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Congrats on your new baby having a beautiful baby. Congrats on your baby having a beautiful baby. Holding your grandbaby is holding the future in your arms, the legacy you are blessed to have and love. There's something philosophical there. There's something there about, like, when you hold your kids, that's you, right? You know, it's mine, responsibility, raise. When you hold your grandkid, it's like, this is the future of the world. Right here. It's wild. Congrats, Uncle B. My Meemaw is my whole world, and I'm honored to be her primary caregiver. Nothing like that bond. Super happy for Coleman fam's new chapter. Thank you. Yeah, there's something beautiful about taking care of aging parents and grandparents. I annoyed you when I said Charlie was looking to Catholicism so he could have an annulment or an exorcism. Wasn't trying to be mean. I was serious. I don't think it's mean. I don't think it's mean at all. We own a landscaping biz. We remove 1 inch greater than the depth of the paver. You don't want to replace under with new soft soil. You set them on old packed dirt and for stability. Never be a reason to remove 10 inches. Well, that's what I'm told they removed. Oh, how big's a paver? 2 or 3 inches? I mean, they're not small. Congratulations, Baron and fam. When I saw this interview while you were away, I was like, OMG, Baron's going to be all over this. Keep going, Max. Crisis King indeed. You talking about the interview with the paver? Yeah, I was. Moon Goddess, I hope you're doing well. FBI guilty of planning the assassinations. Notice how she dropped the G? That's because we're family. You don't have to use fancy G's at the end of your words here. No. Participle, gerund, just throw that G in the trash. We don't need it. Guilty of planning the assassination. That's how we do it here. We planning. Being a grandfather is wonderful. I'm waiting for number 4 in the next 2 weeks. Congratulations, Baron, and love to your family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cash doesn't strike me as a landscaper. Maybe stoned mason. Congrats. JLY. Oh, Jesus loves you, Grandpa. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think Cash does a lot of manual labor. Not really his thing. Cox and data centers and Romney influence. Oh my. Tim Ballard wants Romney's job, then immediately accused of crimes. Suspicious. David A. Nielsen, LDS Church Charity, $1 billion scandal, whistleblower connected. I don't know about that last sentence, but the first sentence makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. Glad to have you back, Grandpa. Blessings upon blessings. Blessings. May I ask your denomination? I'm a baby Christian learning Catholic Protestant differences. I want to start going to church. Don't know where to go. Any advice, insight? Christ is King, eternal. Indeed. I'm Catholic. My advice is go where you feel comfortable and loved and study and learn about your faith. Talk to people and pray, and that's my advice. Go love on Jesus. Go follow the commandments. That's what he said. You love my Father, you follow his commandments. The Bourbon Street New Year's Eve mass murder had a reporter walking around his apartment about 2 days later. Crime scenes is suspicious. Murder is recently not very sanitized. It appears. That's funny you mentioned that. I'd forgotten about that. She was in his apartment just wandering around grabbing stuff. I remember that. I forgot all about that. What a weird day that was. What a weird story that was. Hey, Baron, can we talk about Bert Coffin, an 85-year-old Navy veteran in Florida, working Uber Eats to pay off medical death? Google his name. Has to go for me. I never heard of him. Sounds tragic, though. Why would a Navy veteran have access to the VA if it was going to be expensive? I don't know how that works. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Congrats, Granddad. Way back when EK took a year off, wasn't she with someone named Eileen? Victor's bride, perhaps? I don't know who she was with. That's the first I've heard a name attached to it. But yeah, I've wondered that. To pick our battles, I can find agreement on public crime scene being photographed, collected, etc., and then cleaned up quickly. Class was due back on Monday, but method and lack of planning is odd. You can clean up a crime scene without tearing out 10 inches of dirt and paving over it. Like there's a happy, that's the fallacy of the excluded middle. It's in this book here. You don't have to give me two extreme options. Leave crime scene alone, totally destroy it. There's middle ground there. And if you exclude the middle, that's a fallacy, a logical fallacy. I had a data breach after my first super chat last week. I live in AK with a PA number, and the call started at 5:01 a.m. I hope they weren't related. I've not heard that from anyone else, but I'm sorry that happened to you. My new mug idea, Alpo good for dogs, not for humans. Yeah. Congrats, Granddad. She'll be high IQ as you one day. We missed you. Oh, she'll be very high IQ. I can assure you that. FBI isn't finding Donna Mitchell from Hope, Indiana either. Missing same month. County highway dig on boyfriend's property. Still unchecked 6 years later. Crisis king indeed. I've been to Hope, Indiana. There's a cool pizza place in Hope, Indiana. I used to eat there. Called Pizza King. Yeah, the Pizza King in Hope, Indiana on Highway 9. State Highway 9. A great area. I had a cousin that lived in Hope. I want to say their high school is like the Jets or something right there. Can't remember. Dan is lying when he says he doesn't know the name of the guy who did the excavation. Video from CC, November 11, TS, 10:17 minutes. Edward Thomas left Dan a glorious Google review for his help with the paver. Oh, the guy's name was Edward Thomas. Well, maybe he didn't know at that time at the interview. Or maybe he's lying and he's a lying liar who lies. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you my thoughts. Where did they get the pavers on the weekend with delivery? Who ordered them and when? Usually delivery takes more than a day to get in the schedule. Sounds like they went to Lowe's, picked them up themselves, and then took them back, the ones they didn't use. Excavation depth to remove the explosive residue from grass and soil is 6 inches. For recent surface deposited energetic residue, this is the firing range standard, but greater with time, weather, etc. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. I totally believe you, but I didn't know that. But bear on, I used to own a construction company. We only demoed out 8 inches of dirt to pour back in concrete for roadways. Congrats on Granddad, Crisis King indeed. Well, they do 10 inches for crime scene cover. Congratulations, Grandpa Barron. Thank you for all praying a few weeks ago for me. Found an apartment and a job too. Praise God, Crisis King indeed. Chat while I drink tea. That's an interesting username. Congratulations, and thank you for sharing that with us. Shawnee, guess who's back? Shawnee's back. Thank you, Shawnee. Happy anniversary. Congratulations to the newly minted Granddad and Grandma. Very best wishes and blessings to you on the first of many grandchildren. Your riches beyond measure in this life, Shawnee. Thank you very, very much. Always so kind and has a knack with your words as well. Yeah, many. The first of many grandchildren. Children, are you watching this? I don't know if the Coleman kids are watching, but if you're watching, what Shawnee's saying here is very important. Pay attention. Pay attention. Agreed. I think it's a while you're out here. I don't know what that means. Congrats on 25 years and becoming a granddad and 300,000 subs. Cheering emoji. Still laughing about daughter Daisy. Love the show and community. Crisis King indeed. You would be surprised how many of those emails I get. I completely get it. Just had my first granddaughter 5.5 weeks ago. Amazing. Congratulations. Or that could be, I guess, 51 over 2 weeks ago, which would be 26 3/4 or 25 3/4 weeks ago. Probably 5.5. But thank you. Thank you. As evil as CK's muck duck was, it brought millions to Jesus. He did not pass away in vain because the response to evil was a divine recruitment of people committed to truth and justice to fight evil. I will admit there's been some sort of a resurgence in the church lately. All churches, not just one denomination or another. I mean, Christianity's on the comeback. Could be the contractor has an account with certain suppliers, subs, or Home Depot, Lowe's. I do construction defect. I think we can figure that out. I think we figured it out. It was Lowe's. They probably chose Lowe's for the pavers due to likely having enough stock and being open on Sunday, since wholesalers wouldn't be. Christ is king indeed. Another reason not to do the job on Sunday. Wait till Monday. Or don't pave over the crime scene. Greatest man I ever knew was my granddad. Oh, Ellie. I hope my granddaughter says that. I'll have to get started on being a better person. I also think it's odd they just bought, even upturn in the market, too much going on to sell and move. They weren't hurting for money. No, they weren't at all. And now that he's dead, she's building a house. Hello, Baron. Welcome back and congratulations, Granddad. Regard the red pavers and red fence, school colors, rivalries. Oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about the University of Utah being red. I guess they wouldn't want blue either, but who does blue pavers? That's weird. Baron, if they bought tiles at 4:30, but the guy couldn't get a hold of his guys all Sunday, when did they look at the site or actually start? Great question. I kind of took it to mean he got called in the morning and then he got a crew together, and by mid-afternoon they were out there examining. Congrats, Granddad, lucky man, former paver, current human here. If I got that call, I'd have made a YouTube channel instantly, blowing that whistle ASAP. Yeah. Death, divorce, disease, and debt, or a new house. Yeah. I forgot to add debt. I should have added that. When Baron wears his dressy Vans, then he wears his wedding ring. Oh, can I tell you something? My daughter commented, I wore my dress Vans to the delivery. It was that kind of an experience. I wanted to look good. I can't meet my granddaughter in old beat up Vans. I had to wear the dress Vans. And I did. And they looked great. I was fancy. I was walking up and down the halls of the hospital. People were noticing, are those dress Vans? Those suede Vans? Oh, yeah, they were. Explosive residue would contaminate clothes of those handling Charlie and cause skin burns, irritation. Frank Turk said they quickly changed into scrubs due to being covered in blood. I don't believe them. I don't believe him either. No, I don't. I use liar. They've been caught many times lying. I don't see a man like CK, newly married with babies, going for divorce if it was just infidelity. Odd text the night before, didn't mention EK. I don't know that it was infidelity. Might have just been tired of being looked at with those eyes. Did you move the ketchup off of the second shelf in the fridge? Can you imagine? Terrifying. As far as the text the night before, I don't know about Erika component there. Professional concrete masons, etc., have actual accounts with big concrete companies, like the guys that show up with a concrete truck. They don't use credit cards. They have charge accounts. Well, if they're doing it on Sunday at Lowe's, they do. 6 of them. Last podcast from his home office, he looked to his left and had an angry look. The divorce rumor makes sense to me. Seemed as if he was looking at someone. Yeah. Good question here. Stacy, Mikey, Eliza in that condo complex? Yeah, among others. Congrats on the new grandbaby listening tonight. It dawned on me how interesting a convo between you and Charlie would have been. I think it would have been interesting. I never met him. I think it would have been interesting. I would have been thrilled to have that conversation. Baron, our children have gone no contact with us, which is an epidemic right now for parents and grandparents. We're cut off from 13 of our sweet grandchildren, asking for the Baronite family to pray for us. Christ is king indeed. Why is that an epidemic? That's the first I'm hearing this. Are people cutting off their parents? Like not talking to them? Why? I'm very sorry to hear that. I can't imagine what that feels like, and I'm sorry to hear that. I'll pray for you. A grammar request, government records access management account. I got government records right. I just didn't know what the Access and Management Act was. Formal request used in Utah to access government public records. It's the state level equivalent of the FOIA. Yeah, I knew that part. I just didn't know what it stood for. But thank you. Salon. Thank you. Lord bless and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Lord, let this blessing rest upon this newborn grandchild forever. Amen. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can't pray enough for my family. Nor can we pray enough for your family. Well, thank you. Thank you. But bear on, this one's for the amazing Daisy. Thank God for Daisy. Yes, she does a great job. Does a great job. I hope she enjoyed her week off. I didn't ask her. Daisy, did you enjoy your week off? I truly enjoy not only your content, but your humor and honesty. Bring it home for me. Thank you. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, my belle. Or is it, well, my Michelle? That's Guns N' Roses for you uninitiated. Congrats, Granddad, on your new blessing. That compare list is so sad to me. In the past, I've had to do those in different types of relationships. I was wearing my dress fans. I'll be the first to admit it. Baron, sorry if this has been discussed, but UVU being a public university would be subject to FOIA. Could request related communication. Those requests have already been filled. That's where I got the text message. Somebody had filed a grammar request. That's the state equivalent. We just discussed that. They actually wouldn't be subject to FOIA. That's a federal request, but most states have their own sunshine version. A lot of states you have to be a citizen of the state, and so you'd have to find someone in Utah to do it. But that's knew the blank, the weapon, and or divorce was imminent, so wanted power of attorney in case it wasn't clean. Ugh. He was worth more. Unalive to her for the money and attention. Couldn't keep up facade. Wanted fame, money, freedom. Yeah, that list sounded like a list about her. If I'm being honest, the list on the right hand side of the screen that I showed sounded like her. Congrats, Brandon fam. Charlie Kirk's last public interview at that foodie convention in the morning of 9:10. The speaker asked him, wife, kids? Charlie Kirk replies, kids, yeah. I found that very telling. Ooh, I didn't catch that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Make a note of that, Daisy. Let's go find that. Christ is King indeed. That's interesting. But bear on, this one's for the amazing Nurse Lindsay. Who's Nurse Lindsay? Nurse Casey? Christ is King indeed. I'll allow it. You changed my sister's name, but that's okay. I'm sure she's been called worse things today. When becoming a parent, one is overwhelmed by the love, balanced by enormous responsibility. By contrast, being a grandparent is all love. For me, that's the difference. Prayerful congratulations. Thank you. I think that has a lot to do with it. Because you're like, oh, it's so wonderful. Here. You walk away. Drive home. Seem to recall that Charlie texted someone, said, it's over. Everyone always thought it was the Israel cause, but I always thought it meant their marriage. Maybe that's what he meant by no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Maybe his wife was the pro-Israel. I kid, I think. I kid. Erika also has another countdown where she and Charlie were walking together holding hands. She said nothing happens by coincidence. Thank you for sharing family's joy with us tonight, including us and this precious Coleman family. First, in allowing us to celebrate with you all. You created a very special place here, and we're all better for it. Thank you, and congrats. Yeah, this place is incredibly special. It really is. I'm telling you, I knew it was special because in my old jobs, when I would take a week off, I was dread going back to work, and I could not wait to get back in here and talk to you. Like, I couldn't wait. And I never, in an old job, if I took 3 or 4 days off, would have sat around missing it. I'd have been like, oh, finally, a day I don't have to do anything. I missed it every day. Like, I kept thinking, I can go live from this room. I'm sure Mrs. Coleman would love that. She'd come back from sunning and be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, nothing. Nothing at all. I'm certainly not going live, talking to the grand jury. Certainly not. Let's see here. Check. All right. Congratulations, Granddad. Difference between kids and grandkids is the feeling you would hurt someone that would hurt your kid, but you would burn the city down for your grandbaby. New grandma here. Well. Okay. There's a video by Joseph Tittle where he channeled. I don't channel. I don't do that. Felicidades y can't read that. Oh, bendiciones. Congratulations and blessings. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, sorry. I can barely do English at that size. The in Espanol at that size? No hablo. No hablo muy bien anyway. Not at that size. What if they sold the house for downsizing? Charlie Kirk knew he was losing donors, and this is where issues with marriage started. He did not need to downsize for money. That was not the reason for the downside. Thank you, Sandorian. All just clicked. I wonder if they were signing divorce papers. Everything else makes sense. She acted like a woman who was miserably married and relieved. That's kind of what I was wondering. I'm not suggesting it. I'm not saying it. I'm not stating it as fact. But I wonder now, putting it all together, I wonder, do we know what the caption on her countdown post said? Congrats on grandfatherhood, Baron. Christ is King indeed. Yeah. It said, hold on. I got to move this out. It said, I wanted to make sure you were the first. Maybe that's when she went and told her. I don't know. Interesting. B. A few months back, you posted a vague pic of Erika with an armful of bracelets and said you had a theory on it and would talk about it soon. Never heard your theory on it, or refresh my memory, please. Oh, yeah, I kind of skipped. I'll tell you, but I skipped it out of politeness more than anything. So here's my theory is, with all the jewelry, and ladies, don't take this wrong if you like a lot of jewelry. This has just been my experience. People who wear a lot of jewelry are very insecure people, in my opinion. That's just the people I've met. Maybe it's not true across the board, but they're hiding behind the massive rings and it's like they're covering themselves up. That's been my experience with people who wear a ton of jewelry. And she wears a lot. A whole lot. B. Oh, that was the same one. Has Daisy looked for divorce filing? 90-day waiting period. Minimum is norm from original file date to finalized. I know, 3 times divorce, at least in Washington. It is. Moon Goddess, I don't think such evidence exists. I'm confident that would have been uncovered by now. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Coleman. Grandchildren are extraordinary blessing, and may you continue to be blessed beyond measure with many, many extensions to your family tree. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, we want lots of limbs. I want limbs and branches and twigs. Limbs, branches, and twigs. And leaves. And little flowers. I want a family tree that flowers. Something beautiful. Like a dogwood. Guys, make me a dogwood. You were really missed, Baron. Next, the divorce angle makes sense as to why Erika would have to create the illusion that Charlie wanted her to take over. Turning point, because that would be the last wish he'd have. Yeah, I don't think for a second he wanted her to take over. Did they maybe sell at a buyer while building new home and moved into condo between sale and completion of new home? Congrats on grandbaby. I have seen no personal evidence they started building a home before he passed, but I could be wrong. Man, you're not going to believe this, but when I saw this video, I was like, OMG, she's literally crying real tears over giving her paycheck. Yes. The first real tears I've seen her cry. Like she got so choked up she couldn't talk. When's the last time that happened? I've never seen it. Literally never seen it. I think the comparison list was more of an example of what I wanted versus what I got. The look of regret on Erika's face after she realized what she'd read aloud said it all. Oh my goodness. I think you might be onto something. Here's what I was looking for. Here's what I got. Wow. What did it say between Erika's fingers on the list? Well, let me go back and look. Here it is. Between her fingers. I don't know. It's something, some parenthetical reference though. But I can't read it. Maybe 60, 61. Are those sixes? I don't know. That's a good question. You people are sharp. In the clip of Erika in office holding CK's list, she wasn't wearing wedding ring, unless it's a mirror image, if that makes sense. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. And it's not a mirrored image because you can tell the hats and the football that says Ducks are going in the correct angle. Yeah, no. She also mentioned a letter for his daughter for the future. He knew he wouldn't be around. Oh. Whew. Congratulations on becoming a grandfather. Your family's so lucky to have you. I truly think you're amazing. We missed you. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Oh, those are kind words. Congratulations, MORFAR. Doing my best out here. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. I will look that up just in case you're insulting me. I don't want to let an insult go without getting back at you. Matless, if that is your real name. Checking. We are checking. That's a Formula One reference for you people. The good leave an inheritance to their children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the just. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, sir. Putting a lot of pressure on me to leave an inheritance. Glad you had a great vacation. Congrats on the grandbaby. Glad to have you back. Well, thank you. Very kind. Short, to the point, very kind. If Daisy were to marry one of your sons, she could give birth to a future Coleman grandbaby and glow accordingly at that time. Well, that's a lot of ifs there. Daisy, what say you? No. She's already married, you know. I don't think that would work very well. That would require more than one spouse, and I'm not sure that's a thing. But thank you. Thank you, meme. Hi, my B. Just got my high Q outfit shirt. Was so excited. Inspired me to take a shower today. Please don't forget you promised us that deep dive into Dr. Kirk's nose. I did not forget. I was looking at it while I was on vacation. Encouraged you to take a shower, Ashley? A regular bathe should be part of your routine. You shouldn't have to get a new shirt for that. But I will allow it. Don't forget the photo of Charlie in his office the night before where he looked mad and it looked like he was giving someone the stink eye. Yeah. I saw that. I'm losing my mind anymore with the uptalk. My CIO uptalks. Thanks, B. Yeah, the uptalk is getting out of control. I know she's working on it too. When she talks now, you can see her. She's like, don't talk up at the end. She's working on it. I say she because her Picture of her holding that letter still up to my left. It's a good opportunity. Here, let me show you something. I shouldn't do this. Every part of me right now is saying don't do this, but I'm about to. So you guys wonder what I'm talking about with the knuckles? That's what I'm talking about. Like your upper finger should not be bigger than your like this part, this first part of your knuckle here, this first part of the digit shouldn't be larger than this part here. The finger should not be shaped like a cone. That's I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it. You know how many people just looked down and went, "What are you talking about?" I didn't want to be the one to say it. But here we are. You tune in because I don't BS you. I just tell you the truth. Did you see the interview Charlie did, which he named the pros and cons list verbatim? Seems like it was notes for a show. No, I didn't see that. I would love to see that. Congratulations and welcome back. And my brother in Christ, we missed you and love your work and show. Christ is King indeed. P.S. We got a postscript, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in. Stop what you're doing. This is a donation towards your diaper fund. Oh, I'm not buying diapers. That's her business. Hope you don't think I'm buying the diapers. No, I'm just here to hold the baby. That's her baby. She can buy her own diapers. No, I'll buy some diapers. Isn't that what grandparents do? You're supposed to buy diapers occasionally. Congratulations on your anniversary. Many blessings to your beautiful granddaughter, Grandpop Baron. Thank you, Denise. And thank you, Want to Glorify God, both of you. Very kind. Very kind. Big congrats to your family. You're the class I never could find at college. I learned so much. You know what I found when I went to law school? It was the first time, like I had a few classes in college this way where I really dug in and just loved it. I loved the professor. I loved the material. But it wasn't until I went to law school where it was pretty much every class was that. I loved my professors, almost all of them universally. There were a couple duds here and there, but most of them I adored. And I loved the material. I loved the way the classes were structured. I hated homework, so I loved that there wasn't any. It was just like, hey, and I don't know if you guys have been to law school, and I don't know if they're still structured this way, but when I went 20 plus years ago, you got one grade. You took one test, and that was your grade for the semester. So if it's a 4-hour class, you like went Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you were there for an hour and you watched and you participated, and they give you suggested readings, and it was very smart. If you would do it, it would help you obviously pay attention and know what's going on. But no one checked. You know, if you didn't do it, whatever. I did my homework. I never missed class. Like I was a good student. But there were people who didn't, and they did fine. They got good grades because it was all down to the last test. And you would take a test, and your test usually, roughly, was the number of hours of your class. So if you had a 4-hour class, it was a 4-hour final exam. And you would show up, and it was all, I don't know what it is today, but it was all handwritten in books. Like you would, like no multiple choice, no true false, just all essay. And you would fill up 2, 3, 4 of those blue books, and I don't know, they have 8 or 10 pages each. So you'd write a lot over the course of 3 or 4 hours. And that was your grade. There were no quizzes. There were no tests. There were no pop quizzes. There were no homework assignments that got graded. There was no busy work. It was like, we're going to be studying these pages tomorrow in class. I hope you're prepared and have read them before we show up. If not, pay attention. And then at the end of the semester, you sat down and took a test. And that was your grade. And I loved it. I loved it. The responsibility is on you. Pay attention. Their wedding photo was removed from Charlie Kirk's office in Mikey's video. Missed RBP this week. Welcome back. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Can you please explain why Charlie's honorary doctorate doesn't make him Dr. Charlie, but Erika, Dr. Erika? I'm confused. Congrats on Bubba Coleman. I don't think she's really Dr. Erika. I just call her that. Congrats, MORFAR, from a Farfar. Hope the email was useful. So is this where I tell you I haven't checked emails in a while? I will maybe look at some of them. One lucky little girl to call you Granddad. Enjoy this experience and prayers for your family. Always. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, I might overshare at times, and I might have overshared a little bit tonight. I might get yelled at when I get off here. I'll just say, hey, this is the grand jury. It's not like I'm just telling just anybody. First time super chat. In honor of the new life, and also because now I can listen to you again on my long run tomorrow. The Spotify shows keep me going max. It'll be up in the morning. Count on it. Anyone, if you guys ever miss a show, Spotify's great. But it's a great platform, and if you yeah, it's great. I don't know anything. They've been great partners. They're great people. I've really enjoyed being on their platform. Anyone following CK and EK before knows how intentional he was when he left their house. EK even said on stage that at that Grapevine, Texas talk, he just grabs me and he's like 1 minute before he leaves. Not that day he wasn't. Welcome back. Welcome to the Grandparent Club, Baron and Mrs. Barron. You might be offended by that. She's Mrs. Coleman. So happy you're back. I got mad at my husband for interrupting me listening to you. Headphones on. Said I've been waiting all week for this. Sir, settle down. The show's on. She'll be done in a few hours. It happens to the best of us. Congrats, new grandpa. Love it. Yes. I do as well. Baron, the list in CK's office was from a Fox hit with Laura Ingraham right before going to Utah. Videos on YouTube. I'll try to find that. Thank you. It doesn't change the fact that it exists. There was speculation of the D word so early on. Wonder how many things will come full circle. Certainly interesting. What do you think? Who do you think was leaving? Well, I don't even know that anyone was leaving. I'm just adding it up, and it kind of looks like it to me, but it's a speculation. Conjecture. What do you think about the Fox mask dude? That's the psychoest story I've ever seen. That dude was 100% wearing a mask, and no one will ever convince me otherwise, and I want to know why. I don't know why someone would wear a silicone mask of himself. I'm weirded out by it. I don't like it. I'm wondering now who else wears masks on TV. Why do people wear masks? I don't like it. We filled my parents' home with 8 grandchildren to celebrate the holidays. And I pray my husband and I are blessed with a family tradition of many children for generations to come. Congratulations. Just Jessica, that's beautiful. That truly is beautiful. And I hope it comes true for you. I do. 2019 AP report quotes AK that the majority of CK's annual earnings was from Charlie Kirk's show. She's got to have big money if she's donating back salary. Speculating a Truth Social, Salem, Daily Wire, M&A, largest conservative media company. Maybe she's in, if so. She's got plenty of money. She's got plenty of money. She's not worried about money. I mean, don't cry for her, Argentina. Baron, the list in CK's office from Fox hit with Laura Ingraham before going to Utah. Oh, I thought I already read that. Did I go back up by mistake? Baron, grandparenthood suits you. Oh, thank you. I think so. I've been unable to view live until today because I have a new job where I actually have to work. So thankful for our community. Chrissy, don't tell your old boss you didn't work. He might be a member. Might be watching as we speak. Or she. I didn't mean to speculate. Card red penalty. Please smash that like, fam. Let's get the GOAT to 20,000 tonight. A lot of other things going on there. Thank you. Very kind of you. Did you see Alex Clark trying to come for Candace over the weekend on X and embarrassing herself? Yes, she does that often. She's tragic. I'm so sick of these e-trad girls who are not trad girls at all. Like, I don't mind an e-girl who's a trad girl, who's a real trad girl. But trying to play one, I mean, come on. Amy Colon, thank you. Congrats, mate. Sending huge hugs to your entire family. Exciting times ahead. See, I said mate. That's because I speak Australian sometimes. A few words. Un poco. But Granddad, congrats. That actually made me laugh. Thank you. Hey, Granddad, congrats. On the wedding photo subject, we want to know who Charlie was looking at when he was interviewed in his home office, where he looks off to the camera at someone angrily. Was it EK? We don't know. I don't think we know. I think there's been speculation of a few different people, but we don't know. I also thought the CO interview was weird and thought it was odd to dig her claws into the cat story of all things. I love her, but that was weird and a little off. No, I understood, but that part didn't bother me at all. And I didn't have many problems at all with the Victor Marks interview. I didn't have a problem necessarily with the Hunter Biden interview. I'm not a big Hunter Biden fan because of the corruption thing. Like, I feel bad he was a crackhead, and it was interesting hearing. I mean, it personalized him. It was very effective for that purpose. But I just look at Hunter Biden, I'm like, your corruption sort of paved the way for what we're seeing now with the new president family, and I don't like it. But the digging the claws into the cat story, that's a nice use of the English language there. I like that, Chris. I like that. I like that approach because what it showed was he's full of bull butter and has been for a very long time. Congratulations on the new edition. I'll be a first-time grandma in August. I can't wait. I got my Crisis King shirt and love it. Thanks, Candace, for the introduction to the best podcast on the air. Oh, don't tell the principal that. Don't tell her that. Crisis King indeed. Hey, be careful with that in August business because I kept telling everybody I'm going to become a grandparent in June. Late in May, I became a grandparent. Another great episode. Congrats on becoming a granddad. We will be celebrating our 25th anniversary next year. I told my husband we will have to go away somewhere this time. He agreed. Thanks. Yeah, we went away for the first time. And again, we didn't go far because of the situation we were in, but it's nice living in the Nashville area. There's beautiful places around here to go. I'm way late. It's okay. Had to finish up the pot roast and green beans, do laundry, and feed new laying chicks. Hopping in before I hit the dinner dishes to say congrats and welcome to the world, little one. Janice, you listen whenever you want. You're a great listener and great participant here. So you just take your time. No one's going to judge you. The pot roast sounds delicious. Silver foxes are beautiful. Watching my husband go gray only makes him more irresistible than ever. What if only the beard goes gray and the rest of it sort of maintains its color? Like I have some grays coming in the temple, but the rest of it's still maintained its natural color. But this beard is out of control. I'm not sure a gray beard is like what you call old people. So, data centers, AI counterfeit, omnipresent, cancer, false cell tumor destroys all that is natural and holy, building body for disembodied spirit. Christ is king indeed. I don't know that I follow that entirely, but thank you. Your Majesty, King, Baron, congrats on your new title, Modur Afi. You're speaking Icelandic. What a beautiful language. God bless baby Coleman and all the family in the grand jury. Missed you and the fantastic time we have together. Yes, we do have great time together. It's wonderful. Tenemos tiempo juntos. For our friends south of the border. Congrats, Coleman's. The episode quickly made me recall M. McCoy's photos of the little gateway he and E. McCoy took with the Kirks shortly before CK's death. Last try to make it work, maybe? Precious King indeed. That was I didn't want to even bring that up tonight. But I thunked it. Forgot to say I received my introduction to logic book the other day. Kai, you're about to be a brilliant thinker. Nothing's going to get past you. Not sure if I'm the only one, but just noticed EK isn't wearing her wedding ring in the still pic you showed from the Glenn Beck show. That's correct. Congrats, Granddad. Also, thanks for your great work once again. EK also has post from 9/2 for the one with her mother that says, what if childhood could hold eternity? 15 days. I am. 9/16. Yeah. Something was happening. My ex-mother-in-law used to say if we knew grandkids were so much fun, we'd have had them first. I learned that when my first grandchild was born. Amazing. Oh, but you can't have the grandkids. It doesn't work that way. Congrats, GBC. May God shine bright over your growing family. Granddaddy looks good on you. No old age jokes from Uncle Ivan. Glad you're back. You might have been missed. Christ is king indeed. I missed you too, Ivan. I missed you too. I thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't need any old jokes from Unc. Congratulations, Granddad and family. Grandkids are the best. We have 6. I'm a retired labor and delivery nurse. Fabulous career. Love those babies. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, God bless those women who have to listen to mothers giving birth. I find it very odd the Paver guy observed Sunday, but then cursed as much as he did. I've never heard an LDS member who participates in Sunday Family Day speak like that. I don't know, but that's weird. Maybe he just wants a day off, and Sunday's his day. I don't know. Baron, Christ is king indeed. Did you know that the vehicle that Thomas Matthew Crooks drove to the rally in Butler is still in possession of the government? I did not. Wasn't it a Hyundai or something? Hyundai like Sunday? Congrats, Baron. I questioned why I wasn't as awesome as a mom as I am a grandma. Now you get it. 2, it's a complete different love. Plus, you get to hand them back after spoiling them with gifts and sweets. I don't do a lot of sweets. So I got bad news for the grandbaby. She's going to have to be spoiled with other stuff. I'll give her sweets. I'll have some Werthers. You know, you can have Werthers on hand. If you're going to be old, you got to carry Werthers around, right? Here's to that creamy caramel or butterscotch, whatever. It's caramel, right? Hey, Granddad, I need some hard candy. If I'm going to be a granddad, doggone it, I need hard candy. I'm going to have to invest in some bonbons. Hey, Granddad, you are glowing, and I'm so happy you were able to be off to spend precious time with the missus and also your daughter. Much love and God's blessings. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Sarah, wow. Congratulations to the whole Coleman family. Happy to have you back. It's wonderful that you and Mrs. Coleman were able to get away and come home to a wonderful present. I'm sure your family is so blessed. May God bless you all. Christ is king indeed. You know what the best part was? It wasn't even me getting to hold the baby or Mrs. Coleman getting to hold the baby. It was wonderful seeing my daughter hold her own baby, but seeing the aunts and uncles, my other children, holding that baby. Oh my gosh. I took pictures. of every one of them. And it was beautiful. That makes you glow right there. Congrats, Coleman family. I wonder when Charlie figured out the 10 million was missing from TPUSA to LF that led the Doge initiative, last straw of marriage. Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen any of that documented. I've just seen that speculate. The red railing, they were likely because the UU colors are red, white, black, and UVU colors green. That could be. Grand status unlocked. Thank you. I don't give a damn. I've been looking to level up. You went MORFAR, max, as some would say. You went far, far away over the moon and back this weekend. Finally, a lunar trip I can actually believe happened. Congrats on the only recent landing that's real. Yeah. All that's true. I'm a real MORFAR. And it was real. Unlike the Artemis 2 fake mission. My high IQs, my son started a Christian clothing line, 7th-Day Basics. Please check it out. So proud of him. Just a few products, but more coming. Thank you. Good luck to him. Spouse is a priority, but your children are a covenant. Your spouse is a covenant too. If done properly, the spouse is also a covenant. But I understand what you're saying, Katie. Thank you, Carrie. Just drive-by donations. Congrats to MORFAR and more mother to the little girl. Oh, thank you. I forgot she's a Mormor. I don't think you call a woman a Mormor, though. Not one that speaks English, because that sounds bad. Like more. That gets you in trouble. Congrats, missed you. Found it odd that AK texted shot for sure when responding to Candace's inquiry about Charlie Kirk's condition on 9/10. Yeah, I noticed that. That was a little weird, but he's a weird guy. Late to the party, but did you see Diligent confirmed TR family took him to Washington County Sheriff's Office on 9/11? Not only did I see it, I retweeted it. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Diligent's done great work on that, by the way. We'll talk about that more this week. Only do one show at a time. Edge. Oh, thanks for the Edge. I missed it. Forget age. My hubby was older than you are currently with our son. Everyone thought grandfather. Of course, that is also the reason he won't buy any theories. Yeah, I get it. I was holding the baby one time, and one of the nurses walked in and was like, and what is your relation? I'm like, I'm the old guy. Congratulations to you and your family. Best wishes. Thank you. My gifted membership expired. Even though times are tough, I had to break down and buy my own. Thank you for all you do, B. And congrats on the grandbaby. Christ is king and Jesus loves you too. Well, you're going to get value out of that. And thank you, Holly, for saying that. Because I am going to do a member show this week. I missed it last week, obviously, because of the baby. But I try not to miss those each week. Thank you, Zach. My profile pic is one of 11 grandbabies. Congrats. That's beautiful. 11. It's beautiful. 11. Congrats, Granddad Baron. FYI, I call myself Grandma to my first granddaughter. They choose your name. She named me Mama. I'm going with Granddad. I don't care if she's 11 before she learns how to say it. I'll be like, no, you call me what you want. Granddad. Granddad. Congrats, Big B. With all these super chats rolling in lately, when you and Mrs. Coleman disagree on something, do you ever hit her with the, people pay me my opinions? No. That would not go over well. No, I don't say that at all. I might make sure I might like send her a timestamp of the show and be like, oh, I didn't mean to send that timestamp. I meant something else. Sorry. I might send that comment, but no, I do not say that. Regarding the AI voice, Charlie was too smart to say appoint Erika rather than endorse or recommend for the board to decide. No way there's a video. P.S. Mrs. Coleman may need a hair tie on the battle bun cap. I attached it in a hurry at the post office. It's held up. It's held up. So we're good. No hair tie needed, Renee, and thank you for that. Very thoughtful. Very, very thoughtful. Back to this one. We decided a long time ago. There's no what's mine is hers. So there's no division there. Did you see CK's parents wouldn't look at Erika at funeral and stand near her at coffin move? I lost my partner and squeezed hands in grief. Daily Fredo 5'5", 720 minutes. I did see that. I haven't seen Daily Fredo's take on that, but I have seen that. Yeah, I've made a decision. I'm not going to talk about his parents if I can. I mean, if it could change, but for right now, that's kind of my call. Congratulations on the MORFAR. Thank you, Candace, for MORFAR and FARFAR equating us. Thank you. Yes, what a wonderful community we have that everyone instantly knows what we're talking about. I have a USA sock company. Love to make Baron socks for you. Where do I send them? XOXO Zach. Zach, I'll show you this real fast. There's a P.O. box in here somewhere where you can send stuff. The post office people love it. They absolutely love it. They can't get enough of the fact that people send stuff. Yes, they love it. Oh, and fully natural checking in. Oh, the birth. Oh, okay. Edge, I thought you were giving us way too much information. I was going to have a conversation with you off air. But now that you said that, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. We almost got really awkward up in here, Edge. No mercy for Hunter B. He talked about crimes most struggle with, but not the crimes that corrupt America. Yeah, that was kind of my thought. But I understand Candace kind of letting him go where he wanted to go. He was a guest. And if you invite someone on your show, you don't, kind of let them go where they want to go. Congrats on your sweet grand girl. I'm a single mom of 13 kids. Oh, gosh. Dad passed 12 years ago. Wow. 13 kids? That's amazing. Sorry to hear about your loss. I'm a grandmother of 49, a great grandmother of 4. Every one of them is awesome. Life is crazy. Christ is king indeed. What a wonderful life. What a wonderful life. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Elaine. And thank you, Cherry. Sherry. The left of that paper was Charlie. The right was Erika. Look at the honest contrast of who they are, and the kids not in the below the pad means both important to both. The kids seem to be on the left-hand side of that list if you're right. What are some situations where you think it'd be a good thing a judge didn't let cameras in the courtroom or kept a very tight ship? I gave an opening statement on that. On that doctor case in Cleveland where the media was just totally out of control. I mean, I don't think you can close the courtroom. You have to let the court be public. People have to be able to come in and to be able to report. But as far as recording it and letting people clip it out and, see, I told you he's guilty. I think that, I understand the defense's position. A wonderful opening statement. Equals Granddad's story. Also, Grand Baby Pink replaced Bean Paste Hoodie. Oh, thank you. Thank you for all you're doing for the investigation. Keep going, Max. Christ is king indeed. It's going back to Bean Paste next time I wear it, though. Congrats. My mom recently passed, and she loved all 17 of her grandkids. Your show in this community has helped me hang on to Christ is on my side, and hearing you describe my mom's relationship with my kids. Oh, thank you. Gosh, I love this community. I cannot tell you how much I love this community. Thank you for sharing that. Thoughts on Tulsi's exit? I'm of the belief the Kirks were on track to divorce. Congratulations, Granddad, and to the entire Coleman crew. Christ is king indeed. I'm going to take her to word that she has a husband who's in a horrific situation with bone cancer. What a horrible disease. And that she would rather be with him. And I think it's beautiful. First super chat, live ever. I watched on Apple Podcast. You watch it or just listen? I thought it was only audio. Congrats on grandbaby and anniversary. Praying for fast recovery and 25 more years of marriage. Well, 25, I'll still be pretty young. Maybe we'll go for more than that. I'll be in my early 70s, 25 more. Hoping to get more out of life than that. We're going to have children. Listening you describe the arrival of Bub makes me emotional. Congratulations, Mrs. C. Yeah. It is. It was very emotional. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. I had my first daughter at 22. She had her daughter at 22. That makes me a 44-year-old grandma. I feel like we need to get back to having kids in our 20s. Congrats. Yeah, I'm all for it. More the merrier. Charlie Kirk's list was who he thought EK was versus who EK actually is, maybe? What was her hand covering at the bottom of the note? I don't know what the hand was covering. But yeah, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Congratulations, Grandpa, Grandma Coleman. My husband and I are blessed to have 5 children and 10 grandchildren, hoping for at least 4. That means one of your 5 is not going to have another one. You must have that one picked out. First super chat. I hate to tell you that the little blessing will decide what to call you and will adore you, and you will adore whatever it is. Congratulations. You have a blessing from God. That love is unexplainable. You guys say that, but like, I had grandma, grandpa, and granddad. Now, unfortunately, my other grandmother passed away before I was born. But I guarantee you I couldn't say grandma, grandpa, or granddad before when I was little. But I probably said something, and my parents were like, no, it's granddad, grandpa, grandma. Look, I'm not knocking other people. Do what you want. I'm just saying. Shawnee's back. Is it possible she found out about his appointment and what it was for, but wasn't invited? Just said she was. Also that she needed to make sure the appointment ever happened. Ooh. I don't know, Shawnee. That's a really good thought. I had not even considered as much. I just assumed she was being honest, but I don't know why I would assume that about her. Happy anniversary and congrats on the family's new addition. If the grand jury could find it in their hearts, there are a few members of my family that use a few prayers right now. Christ is king indeed. Well, chop rock, guitars, and gear. Hey, Lord, When they're praying for chop rock guitars and gear, they're praying for that guy. You could remember that. Congrats. I had all 5 of my babies naturally and no audience. Although when I had my first at barely 18, my dad held my hand the whole time. Such a special time for your family. I cannot wait to be a grandmother. Yeah, I didn't want to get too personal, but I was a hand holder. And yeah, I was definitely a hand holder. So thank you, Rachel, for sharing that. Hi, Baron. And I'll tell you, it made my heart swell to hear her call out for me, honestly. Congrats, Grandma and Granddad. I love being a nana. Also got 2 Hold Please mugs in the mail from my hubby. Love them. Oh, I just took my Hold Please mug back in the kitchen, but just imagine I'm holding it. Coming in way behind tonight because family came to visit. Unacceptable. Did you tell them it was showtime? I don't know how many sent this to you, but I was one of them. Baby, congrats. Thank you. More than one. No new chamber in heart. Trust me, B, you don't want any problems. P.S. Still hating physical therapy, but I'm going, so don't shake finger at me. Congrats, Grandpa. Keep going. Keep going. You don't have to love it. Just do it. Just do it. Like Nike. For your new grandbaby. Congratulations. Thank you. That's very kind of you, Cindy. As the story goes, I named my Panka because I couldn't say Grandpa. He was Panka forever. He was awesome. Congrats, Coleman family. I'm not knocking other people for doing it. I'm just going to keep telling her, Granddad. Congrats, Papa Ben. And my first grandchild at 39, second at 41. I, too, am a 46-year-old grandfather. Definitely a different feeling when your own child is having a child. It sure is. Thank you for sharing that. My mom and dad had 12 kids and had 28 grandkids. 10 great-grands so far. Congrats on the new baby girl. Will she be Granddad's girl? Of course. Of course. King Quack. That reminds me of Quick Quack. Grandpappy Barron. God is so good and life is so sweet. New life is so sweet. May God bless and protect you and your growing family. Thank you. Holy mackerel. We're over 3.5 hours. Estrangement is an epidemic. Oh, no. 27% of families, more than 1 in 4. That's crazy. Driven by social media algorithms. Should ask who runs algorithms and how they benefit from destroying families. Oh, Christ is king indeed. I had no idea that was happening. No idea that was happening. I got a new chair, guys, and I got to say, this is amazing. That's why I didn't know it'd been 3.5 hours. I'm not uncomfortable. My old chair is right here just in case I had to switch back mid-show. I wasn't sure. C&E's last public appearance reminds me of when Scarlett O'Hara wore her mother's draperies to score money from Rhett. Charlie seemed visibly annoyed when she pushed back on having kids after 30. Yeah, she was over 30 when she had both her kids, right? Pretty sure I'm right on that. Thank you. CK figured out EK was his handler. So glad you're back. Congrats on the new baby. Christ is king indeed. I don't know. Maybe. Just got caught up and not sure if anyone said this, but I'm in landscaping. An excavation of 9 to 12 inches is standard for paver patio. Yes, but is excavating a crime scene standard? That's the operative question here. Please pray for our family. We lost our mother yesterday. Oh, gosh. So much we owe her. She was the rock of our military family. I'll pray for you. I'm sorry to hear that. Gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. I would like to correct my previous super chat. Granddad. Oops. A lot of families became estranged over the jab. Prayers for those who are still falling for the deceptive plot. Christ is king indeed. Got estranged over the jab? Don't do that. Congrats on the bundle of joy. You can see the hearing aids. You can't see the hearing aids at all. Christ is king. Indeed. Yes, you can. It was the first thing I noticed when I took the picture. Or when I looked at the picture. Okay, Grandpa. Either put on the glasses or increase the font size. I would, but the glasses are in my travel bag back here behind me. I have to dig through it and find them. Yes, Brother B. Glad you're back behind the wheels of steel. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Granddad. So happy for you. We missed you, but family is life. Take off all the time you need to spend time with your new blessings. Your grand jury will always be here. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Congrats to you and Mrs. C on the grandbaby. I'm celebrating a milestone birthday today, the big 50. Thank you for all you do, putting a great show every time. Love this community. Christ is King indeed. Ramona, 50 is an amazing accomplishment. You'll start getting mail now from AARP. That's the best reason to turn 50 I can think of. Thank you. Usually, yes, but if it was last minute job, the supply yards probably weren't open on Sunday and no other place to go but Lowe's. Oh. Be careful. Watch Savvy Savs live today. You are in jeopardy. All commentators are being subpoenaed. By whom? I'll have to watch that. Let me open that up right now. Savvy Savs. I'm not being subpoenaed. In my last message, I meant the last thing Charlie would want is to have Erika in charge of Turning Point. So that may also explain the divorce angle legal appointment. Yeah. Congrats, Coleman fam. I've seen a video that Charlie read the list for an interview on the differences from the right wing versus left wing views. I wish I could remember who it was with. Christ is King indeed. Some people are saying he referenced that list on Megyn Kelly, so I'll check that out. I'm a great grandma, and my parents are enjoying being double G's. Lots of love to you and your family. Great grandparents. Not too many of those out there. We could all be so lucky. I raised my younger sister, who moved in with me when she was 14. She's now 26, has 2 beautiful children. The love I have for them takes my breath away. So blessed to have them all in my life. That's a beautiful story, Terry. First, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. Hold on, I'm looking for something. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. The list in Charlie's office was points he brought up on last interview with Laura Ingram. Yep, that's what I'm hearing. Congrats on the new grandchild. Will great grandchildren count towards the 40 grandchildren demand? Christ is King indeed. No, I'm gonna need 200 of those. Like we're starting a clan, not with a K, with a C. We're starting a clan. We're starting a tribe. The tribe of Baron. I don't recommend it. We're not really. That was a joke. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. You are going to be the best MORFAR that little girl could ever ask for. So glad you're back. Missed you a lot. Well, I missed you, Maud. We have 2-month-old niece, and my husband hands her to anyone else when she starts crying. Saying, okay, the fun part's over. Congrats on the grandbaby. Christ is King indeed. I thought that a little. I had a little of that thought myself when I was changing the diaper. I was like, hey, wait a minute. This isn't my job anymore. I kid. Happy to do it. Maybe it says 106, January 6th. So she strategically found an old one to miraculously find live. I don't think it says that. It looks like it says 606 something. Might be like a PIN number. Maybe that's how you get into his bank account. Did you just say while you were on vacay, you were looking at the EK nose? Always on the case. That is why we love you, B. Congrats on the first of 40 grandkids. I actually was. I had a whole bunch of pictures that I texted myself. Different noses. But Baron, Granddad, adding to your purpose in life has to feel amazing. Glad you're back and had a much-deserved break with your family. Baby girl is perfect. Congratulations, B. She's perfect indeed. Letter for the daughter, but not one for the son. Yeah, that poor son gets so left out. I'm not sure what's going on with the son. It's like she never references the son. And he did have that picture up with the son. Yes, it's happening now that kids are cutting off their parents. I haven't seen my son and 3 grandchildren in 5 years. 2 who were born during the 5 years, so never met. Prayers needed too. Christ is King needed. For what? What is it? What is happening? Why is this happening? I've never heard of this. Is there like a reason? I've learned so much about plants this last week, but I'm good now. Back to regularly scheduled high IQing. You took the time off to study about your plants? I'm okay with that. That's time well spent. Read a book, read up on plants. So happy you and your growing family, Granddad. Enjoy it. Granddadding is the best. Agreed. So far. Well, only on day 2, but so far I agree with you. Just started watching this, and the Paver guy said that he listened to the voicemail, then said he answered the call. That was the second to last clip. Just makes me think about his story. Well, maybe he texted back and said, "Hey, I'm free now. Call me." And they call. I don't know. Yeah, give him the benefit of the doubt. Might be a stretch, but Charlie not talking about his son makes me think the possibility he wasn't a dad. Found out, couldn't accept it. Separation. I mean, I don't want to go there. I don't know. I mean, you're free to go there, but I don't want to go there. Granddad Baron is my favorite. Tonight felt like a throwback episode. Oh, you like Granddad Baron? Congrats, Granddad. We missed you. Glad you're back. May God bless your family. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Salem Media Talent, was advocating for replacing Joe Kent. I'm concerned he might try for Tulsi's job now. Well, that'd be a disaster. God bless you and yours, Grandpa. Thank you. Thank you. Happy to, hey, good Gramps. Congratulations. Y'all are so blessed. Sadly, my dad never got to meet my daughter and vice versa as he passed several years prior. I told you I was in that same boat. My grandmother passed away before I was born. And I've heard so many wonderful stories about her that I feel like I've missed that part of my life. Everybody seemed to adore her. And sorry, I never got to meet her. Kindly asked for a prayer tray. You became a new grandpa this weekend? Well, I met my biological father for the first time ever at 38 and introduced him to his granddaughter. Prayers for the new granddads. Christ is King indeed. Congrats. What a beautiful story, Corey. I'll pray for you, certainly. What a beautiful story. Thinking about the dates. Did he need to go before signing on the 15th? What was she going to lose? Well, that's the question. Also, I can relate to the comment regarding kids not communicating with parents. My now 31-year-old daughter is like that for no apparent reason. What is happening? This is weird. Person commenting about shower could be going through depression. I've been there. Oh, I didn't even consider that. I'm sorry if that's the case. I didn't mean to make light of it. I would never make light of that. Congrats. Hard to believe that 7 months ago, I didn't even know you existed. And I missed you every day that you were gone. Welcome back. Thanks for your amazing work. Christ is King indeed. I missed you every day I was gone. KDVNDE. Dearly. I'm glad you're here. A day or so after JFK, a passerby found a portion of the skull on the side of the road. They had to call police. I found some skull. Really? Huh? Welcome back. Congrats. Hard to believe so. Oh, I love your work too. Christ is King indeed. I don't know if you meant to send too, but you did. You did. I wanted my in-laws to be Mama and Papa. They are Nia and Poopa. 10 years now. Well, look, I'm all for like letting the kids have a say in it, but I will not be Poopa. I will not be. I'm no one's Poopa. You cannot call me Poopa. No one can. My worst enemy, I would not wish Poopa. I'm kidding. Poopa sounds beautiful. Sounds great. Estrangement from parents became a big thing during C-19 when children demanded their parents take the jab or be cut off from the grams. Epidemic. There are social media groups on this topic. Is that what caused it? What a weird thing. That's over. Come back. Come back home. Welcome back. We need more digging on French infrastructure mogul linked to greatest ally. Oh, yeah. French aided with them in the Dimona nuke project, and Corsican snipers took out JFK. First I've heard of the Corsicans. From the blessing, may his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations and your family and your children and their children and their children. Yeah, I'll allow it. Thank you. We could use the blessings. Congrats on the anniversary, new bundle of joy, and 300,000 subs. We missed you. Not as much as I missed you, Alpaca Renee. You've been around a long time. I don't think estrangement's an epidemic. Me and sis don't speak to our mom for abuse, verbal, physical. Maybe society makes it more acceptable for children to choose to break toxic cycles instead of labeling this as an epidemic. Oh, I guess there's two sides to every story, isn't there? Dad was Buppa, then turned to Papa. It is possible to get kiddos to change what they call you. Yeah. Granddad. No, Granddad. Oh, so funny story real quick. I'll tell. We're going on 4 hours, but I'll tell the story. So my daughter, the new mom, We did a little sign language. She was a kid, food, water, the whole 9 yards. And I was trying to get her to call me dada, because she would call me mama because she was with her mom all day. Then I would come home from work and she just thought parent meant mama, I guess. She used mama. And I say, no, dada. And so she starts doing this and going, dada. And I'm like, no, not you, me, dada. Yeah, gosh, that seems like a few years ago. Holy mackerel, that was 19 years ago. Goes fast, guys. I know it's cliche, but it's true. Goes fast. Congrats, Granddad Barron. Best ever. Having my one and only son at 44 years old. Now Grams at 65 2 years ago. Now 2 grandkids. I'm excited for Nashville NASCAR next weekend with my pit pass. My cameras. Nephew is Gasman, number 23. That's the car owned by Michael Jordan, isn't it? Who drives that? Was that Bubba Wallace? Somebody. Well, congrats on that. That'll be fun. You'll have a good time. My B. Everyone heard you say Arizona's beautiful. Oh, I got caught. It's a beautiful kitty litter box. It is beautiful. I've been to Arizona. My wife and I spent some time on the Navajo Nation reservation, and it's beautiful. It truly is. We climbed a little rock called Nose Rock Mesa outside of Pinyon in Burnt Corn Valley. And we got up to the top, and it's, a couple thousand feet above the rest of the terrain. And it's beautiful. See just forever. Because it's flat. And there's no trees. I kid. I don't kid about that, but it's true. Didn't the Kirks have a visit from a priest the night before the big event? Marriage counseling? Well, that's the rumor. Cindy, checking in. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Cindy Yates, congratulations. Grandkids are a blessing. We missed you. Glad you're back. I missed you. Glad you're back. Bye, baby girl something. Let her know the YouTube fam always keeps y'all in our prayers. I will let the whole family know that. And thank you. Genuinely thank you. And we'll return the favor. We'll pray for you tonight, Cindy. Thank you. Uncle B, or I guess it's Grandpa Uncle B now. Thank you, Frank. Happy for you and the fam. Missed you and glad to have you back. Baby Coleman isn't aware she already has an entire fan base and isn't even a week old. She isn't even 2 days old. Or is she not 3 days old? Yeah, she's not even 2 days old. She'll turn 2 days here in a few hours. And she's perfect. She really is. Oh, gosh. She really is. Like, I'm telling you, I look at people's babies and I'm like, ugh, look like a space alien. And then I look at that one, I'm like, wow, y'all are missing out. I have a Facebook group with 2,000 moms estranged. 27% of moms aren't toxic, abusive, narcissistic. But those are the accusations. Pushed in social media. I have lots to say. Very painful, very damaging. Gosh, this is one of the worst things I've ever heard. KTV and DE. Congrats, Granddad. The first grand wraps their roots deep around your heart. It's a precious relationship. Very excited for you and Grandma. From this grandma of 10, soon to be 11 in July. Deep-rooted circle of love. We were right about the 10. We said that when we were trying to figure out what your name meant. Remember the University of Tennessee grandma named Shar with 10 grandbabies? Didn't we guess all that? Or is it Utah? Or University of Texas? We had this whole conversation. Thank you. Thank you. Epidemic started under C-19, excelled by social media, expanded during election. I can't go to Thanksgiving with someone who voted against my rights. Well, I wouldn't go to Thanksgiving with them either anymore. I kid. I would. Thank you, Renee. Satan finds new ways to rip families apart. A lot of kids are super liberal and reject their more conservative parents. It's really sad. Christ is king indeed. It is sad. That's why I say don't ever let politics come between you and friends and family. Just talk about something else. My papa was a cantankerous and hypocritical Cuban, but he was still my favorite person. She will love you unconditionally, even if you are saucy. Me? Saucy? Christ is king indeed. I don't think so. Congrats, Granddad and Mrs. C. A week of blessings for your fam. The paver guy needs a trustworthy security team, and defense needs to subpoena stat. Agreed on both. I'm the person commenting about the shower, and I'm lazy, not depressed. Good, because I was feeling bad for a second there. But thank you for the concern for the community. Ashley, tighten up. Hygiene's important. Now, granted, people in the old days used to go 6 months without a shower. But it's not the old days. The whole world smelled like poop back then. So a stinky person didn't really add much to the equation. These days, it smells pretty nice, and a stinky person sticks out like a sore thumb. So, Ashley, you need you to tighten up, girl. Tighten up, get in the shower, and you got plenty of time now because the show has ended. Guys, I've appreciated it. This has been an amazing, amazing time. This is what I missed. I'm telling you, I missed this the whole time. And thank you for your concerns and your congratulations and your prayers and your well wishes and all that. This is an amazing community. I truly, like, I've never missed being out of work. Like, if I took a week off of work, I never missed it. But I missed it this week. Like, I genuinely missed it. So thank you. Thank you. This has been an amazing, amazing day to cap off a truly amazing week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the like button. You can hit the subscribe button. If you're not getting the notifications, you can click the notifications. You can do like notify this or notify all. You can click notify all and see if that helps. I was listening to, I think it was Trigger Smart that was telling me that little secret. When people say they don't get the notifications, tell them to click notifications all. So if you do want the notifications and you click notifications, make sure you got the all selected, and that should help. But don't forget. Don't. Jesus loves you. He does so much. And when you look at that little bundle of joy, you realize how much Jesus loves us all. So thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. I'm about to go back to granddad duties. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. I got to do dad duties first and then back to granddad duties. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. And I'll be back with you guys tomorrow night. Have a wonderful evening, and we will check in soon. Bye, guys.